We don't have any agenda. Today's a day all the women's. But what we can do is more we are free flowing discussions we can do. The idea is on iGOT Karmayogi, we are building, trying to build capacity of our civil servant courses, learning stuff, and so on. So what we can do is what we realize sometimes our content creators also try to create a content. So there is some kind of a gender bias nowadays. So we are working with them and we are issuing, I think, issuing some guidelines also. In the way we create content, there should not be any gender biases also on this. Okay. We have some good courses. I think we have a bigger program for Shakti, and we identified few courses which can be relevant for all the women colleagues. Okay. With this, I'll hand over to my colleague Shobna. Shobna.
Thank you, Rakesh. Very warm welcome to you on this. Well, every day is special for us because we do what we do and we do it so well. But welcome to Karmayogi Bharat and making this day so special for us. I will first introduce the wonderful women and a couple of men who work here who are really they're the backbone of this organization. I start with Sandra. Sandra is our company secretary. She is phenomenal professional, wonderful colleague, and we just love her. And we have Harleen, who is the head of our HR, and Harleen has recently joined us and remarkable. We have Sapna, who is senior person in our program. That is somebody I just love to see in all her professional and the way she turns herself out into the she's got poise, she's got confidence, fantastic. Then we have the lovely Nikita from our tech team, who is who gives us. Nikita is very inspirational because you know how tech is always seen as a men's domain. Fantastic. She's strong. She's incredible behind the camera and also in all that we do in the digital work of the company. Then we have Nikita and you. We have Sunita, who is my colleague in content. She's my soul sister. She has incredible knowledge of our content. She started the content track, so I rely on her so much for everything. Then there's Jyoti. Jyoti takes care of procurement. So you see, women are pretty much in charge of most divisions at KP. Jyoti handles procurement, and she handles a lot of stuff there. She's bullied by the men, but she always has. Then Akanksha, the lovely Akanksha, is also HR, works very closely with Eileen. She was the first person I met when I came here. I was very nervous in September, and she made me feel very welcome to this organization. It was all new. So she's very special to me in that way. Which I always forget your name. Ritika. Ritika is a part of our EHRM team. I think you know they have now come to us and joined us as part of KB. So they are developing the whole EHRM system, which will then become the one and only place for all HR staff. Very quiet but very brilliant. Sampada sitting in the back, who's in her own quiet way. She handles very wonderful partners of ours like BSNL and others. And she's quiet strength. She doesn't say much, but she has great ideas and she's fantastic. Siddhi, try and come and be with us on the table. Siddhi is part of Shubho's team. Again, a quiet worker, but yeah, come. Everybody, please come to the table. So Siddhi is the content sort of person, content writer,
If I can take the liberty of interrupting you.
Normally we wouldn't
My
allow,
name-
but it's okay.
My name need not be mentioned. You can just say part of the committee.
But I'm just putting in the point. You are comms, so I have to mention you. Remind me. Sorry. You are our guest. So that's Divya from DFS. Then we have another very quiet but fantastic person who's part of my team. This is Rakshanda. She is trained as a company secretary also and as a lawyer. And she does a lot of our technical work on our content and all that stuff. Then the lovely Priyambada, who is also part of my team. So I have a women heavy. And I asked for it because when I came there, it was shocking for me to see everywhere I looked, there were men. Our CEO is a man, number 2 is a man, number 3 is a man. This can't have this. I mean, it was a culture shock. And still, I roll my eyes on some days because, you listen to them and then you wonder, where is this coming from? So when we interject, then we have the brilliant young lady there, Anshu, who is our data. And she is really the go-to person about every aspect of data for this organization. She's a whiz. We both lived in Boston together, not together. Yeah. And so we shared Boston and the days we were in that. Cambridge, Massachusetts to be specific. So Anshu is fantastic and she demystifies that data again should be handled only by men and should be secure in the hand of women. So it's as secure with her as it can ever be. And then we have the lovely Astha. Astha is in charge of, we have a team, Toronto team that's handling us, as you know. So she is their boss. She doesn't show it. She also gets constantly being told by men how to do her job, and she holds her own life strongly. And then we have Shakti. Shakti again is very quiet member of the Toronto team. But so we have a mix of personalities here as far as our women colleagues. Hello, welcome. Our women colleagues, these wonderful people I work with every day, have very different personalities. Hi. Good morning, welcome. So this is our team now. We'd love to hear from
Shakti, did you introduce?
Yeah. Please introduce yourself.
Madam, Madam Kamsa Karyalu, and at the post office in Karyalu.
Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you all of you.
I'm Dr. Deeksha Rajput. I'm the Deputy Secretary in the University Grants Commission, UGC. And my point of contact here was Abhishek Singh sir and Sapna ji and Mudu.
I didn't introduce
Most of my interaction happens with him only. So he's been a constant source of encouragement also. Keeps coming over to UGC and we've had several orientation programs there and I'll share with you later on. I think let's get on with the introduction.
Hello everyone, I am Dr. Prachi and again I am from University Grants Commission working with Diksha ma'am and especially working with the capacity building cell of our department. So good to see you all here and happy Women's Day to everyone.
Good to have you.
And hello everyone, I'm Rita from the Department of Financial Services. You can come up here. Please come here. We can see you. Hello everyone, I'm Rita from the Department of Financial Services. And just want to say happy Women's Day to everyone. Thank you.
I'm Dr. Susan Jha and Scientist in Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Happy Women's Day to all. Thank you.
I'm Ms. Vietnam Pilamani, I'm the Director of Interpretation and Secretariat. Happy Women's Day to all.
And I'll introduce Muddu, who I think wishes he was maybe a woman today.
Why has he join us?
Come to the table. So,
Shobna, we have
There is one person.
one more, yes. One candidate we have here online.
Sorry,
She
yes,
can also
sorry, yes,
introduce
please
herself.
introduce yourself. Sorry, I didn't Please go ahead.
Ma'am.
Can you hear us?
Ma'am, you'll have to come near the TV because the mic, uska mic
Can you hear us, ma'am?
Can you hear us?
Anusha Reddy. EPFO. I think you're,
You're on mute.
you may be on mute, on mute.
I think you're on mute.
Hello,
Yes, yes.
good morning everyone.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome, please introduce yourself.
Good morning everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning everyone. I'm Anusha Reddy. I'm from APFO, Account/Enforcement Officer from Ministry of Labor. Happy Women's Day to one and all. And I'm very glad that I'm being part of this meeting today. Thank you so much.
Great, welcome. Thank you.
Ma'am, you can also introduce.
I'm Vinita Tilwar. I am Deputy Secretary in Department of Telecom. Happy Women's Day to all of you.
You know, for me, it's such a treat to see a room full of women. This is a very rare occurrence, I think, for all of us. Shubha, you are free to sit as long as you
I think
want.
ma'am has also not given her introduction. She can also, I'm Dr. Anita Agarwal from Department of Science and Technology. I'm heading C Division in DSC.
Yes,
From
welcome.
Southern Cycle. Right. Happy Women's Day to all.
Thank you. So we might get into territory that might make you uncomfortable at some point. So you're free to sit in or to leave.
Been married for 30 years.
So, you know, as Rakesh was saying, we left this to be a very free, willing, open discussion. I think the thrust of what we do today has to do with two things in my mind, and I hear from you. One is how we feel about our gender in the workplace, how we negotiate, how we negotiate ourselves on a daily basis, in leadership roles, in roles that require policy making, policy intervention. So how that goes, and I think each person here will have something to say about that. And secondly, I think we often forget that we have another life outside of our jobs, which I'm not married with children, but those who are have my full support in our organization. Because I think, sometimes that gets in a way sidelined or pushed aside because there's something in the job and we need to move up and we need to advance. So how do we, because it's true that we multitask well, but how do we really feel about working in this ecosystem? Are we able to do justice to our personal life as well? And how do we psychologically adjust from the office to the home? And what are the things at home that, contribute or don't to our? So these are the two things because I think the word empowerment, the word leadership, in a way is now passive. It's a given that we are pretty empowered, and it's a given we are natural leaders. So I don't think that that's an issue for discussion or debate. There are variations of it. Some personalities in the Indian context, you have to almost take on a male persona sometimes to, and that's the lovely Nidhi who's late. Nidhi is also one of our young bright stars who handles works with several ministries. So आपको comfortable हो हिंदी में बोलो या दोनों में?
नहीं, both are
ठीक है। हाँ, मैं हिंदी वाले बीच में बोलूँगी। So I refrain from these titles for us कि leaders, empowered करना है, ये करना है, because वो तो it's the 21st century, it's a given. The fact is, how do we calibrate the what we do so that for men they take it for granted. जैसे कि यहाँ पे मैंने कई बार देखा, there's a photo, suppose it's all men. कोई एक लेडी को बुलाया, अरे आइए अब there is no gender balance, please आप आइए, So again, those things strike me as a bit strange because I'm not here to represent, to be the token person to bring parity. I'm not here to be some sort of an object. No, I am what I am, and I'm strong, I'm empowered, I'm a leader, it's a given. Like we have our young colleagues here, those of us who are older, look to them for leadership. I look to Samta, I find her amazing. She basically is the one who leads our board meetings. And her work is flawless. I mean, the men are just amazed at how their board meeting, which is the most important meeting for this organization, how it flows. because she's in command, she's in charge, and she doesn't have to be aggressive, she doesn't have to scream, she's there. So in a way, I think we have to go above others giving us empowerment tools, leadership tags. We have to somehow, those are already there. How do we now make it really equal, really balanced? So this is what my thoughts are. And I think I'll come to iGOT, and we have as Rajesh was saying, we have a curated collection called Shakti, which was released last year, and that has some very interesting courses. Prevention of sexual harassment in the workplace.
I think that's one of the best courses available on iGOT.
Yeah. So for those who haven't had a chance to do it, and we are now, because I'm here, we are getting more and more courses, hopefully, that will, the word gender sensitivity is said with a lot of apology, and people are very careful. Again, to me, it's a given. And it has to go beyond that to transgenders, to, when you say inclusive, it has to include everybody. So we have a lot more of that material. So I think they're all, because you see so many women here, I was the only one in the senior category until Harleen showed up, but you see leaders in the making there. So it's clear going forward, there's more and more women in charge in the government ecosystem and outside of it as well. So I think that those are my initial thoughts. We can start with with, I think, with our guests who are here to share with us their experiences. It was, as I said, a culture shock to come here and to see that at the decision making level there were no women, because I had come after working 27 years across the globe in very tough conditions where I was often one of many women or one woman, and to be heard was natural, to be consulted was natural. And suddenly, I'm not really sticking to this. So it was a shock, and I think when you make a noise about it, you become a nuisance. And I remember we have these weekly meetings. So the first meeting, I was like a mouse, a little scared, a little intimidated, and then told myself, what am I doing? This is not who I am. This is not what is good for the young women to see, that I'm feeling intimidated because, for whatever reason, the men are telling me how to do my job. So I think it has taken 4 or 5 months now to reach a stage, and then we have partners, we have CBC, we work with them, and they started saying they wanted me to come to meetings which were otherwise conducted by men. There also the top people are all men. CBC has no senior women. So when they started asking for me, I think the message went here that okay, we have to take this person and her gender. So there were fights and there were tears, and it was not easy for me to say that it can't go on like this. You can't do this. Especially in my area, I'm not asking that I make organizational decisions, but for my area, how are other people deciding? So it created an awareness where now people are open to the fact that yes. So Harleen came, and she, like me, is quite outspoken when it's required. So, and then a lot of the younger women are leaders in the making. So my also strive is, and I think Harleen also, to push them into those roles and by telling them speak up, don't be scared, don't let men intimidate you, all those things. Takes time to do this in first. So that experience, I think we can go around the room now and have all of you share. Office में कैसा है? How do you feel? Indian context में as a woman professional, what are the challenges? What is nice about it, or the experience क्या है? And from the heart, please be open. And so should we start with you, please?
When I joined EFS,
You can sit in.
when I joined my department, was my first job, so definitely everything was procedure is there is like you need to have like around 7 and 7. So maybe they have perception that they don't want women in their sections because obviously the other things should be gasping to go to at around 10:30. No paying no salary. So I was the only one there. I am still the only one there in my section. There's around 10 to 12 women. I'm the only one there. I got promoted there only. Now I do, because of my work, I feel that I have got a lot of recognition. I do get appreciated more than
आपने हैंडल कैसे किया ये you the perception was 5 5:30 बजे होना चाहिए.
At that time, I didn't say anything. There used to be some talks. Like they didn't tell me at that time. I was told when I after some time that we didn't wanted a women officer because वो जल्दी से चल जाती है और काम भी कम करती है.
अच्छा ये था.
हाँ ये तो. You will have to call them and on Saturday, Sunday, then they will not. Somehow I had worked a lot hard.
You had to work harder to prove yourself to be.
Somehow I don't feel that, but I do like what I work, so it's not a pressure for me. I like doing it. So.
Were there any instances of any man misbehaving, any harassment, any comments?
There might have been few instances at my reporting officer level, but seniors were always very understanding and they were always supportive. So I didn't feel difficult. It was fun. Now that they appreciate me in front of all the men, then I do feel
That's great.
I'm not afraid of this. My journey is for them. Seniors have appreciated me for my work, irrespective of me or women. And they do consider my issues also. If I say I'll be, when I'm married, I have to look after my family also. So they are considerate, they are interesting also. I think it's fine.
Wonderful. So you've broken that whatever ceiling it was.
And I think when some other women will come to my office and not
I
hesitate
was about to
just
say that
because-
now you should try to maneuver things that you get more of female strength in your department.
If anybody will ask for my opinion, then I will definitely.
Wonderful. Thank you.
हिंदी में बोलेंगे.
हाँ बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
मैं ना प्रमोटेड होकर एज ए सीए गई थी कोल्ला खाती
कितने साल पहले?
मैं 2020 में तो मैं मतलब एज ए सीए लगी तो मेरी 11 से 7 ड्यूटी लगी. हमें एक दिन हो गया, 2 दिन हो गया, तीसरे दिन हो गया, तो चौथे दिन हम मैडम में चले. हमने कहा सर हम नहीं करेंगे, हमारी इधर से सेल लगाइए, हम गुड़गांव से आते हैं, हम लेट हो जाते हैं. 7 बजे यहाँ से निकलेंगे, 9 बजे घर पहुँचेंगे. सर ने बोला ठीक है. फिर हमारे जो एटीएम थे उनको बोला कि इनकी 10 से 6 लगाएंगे, नहीं तो हम इनकी ब्रांच चेंज करेंगे 10 से 6 बजे. कर दिया, फिर कॉपरेट किया. हमने 1 दिन 2 दिन 3 दिन बर्दाश्त की. उनका बोले बगैर काम नहीं करते.
नहीं बहुत जरूरी बात है. और रोज जब आप काम पे जाते हो तो कैसा वातावरण कैसा है वहाँ पे?
वातावरण ठीक है, हमारी मतलब तो अच्छा. हमारी तो मैडम बहुत अच्छी है, कॉपरेट करती है. भले तुम्हारी एटीएम है ना, वो लेडीज है, सुबह मॉर्निंग में, शाम को जेंट्स है. वो हम कई बार सब कंप्लेन करते हैं, मैडम 5:30 बजे निकल जाती है, 5:30 बजे तक उठाई चल देगी. तो मैडम बोलती है कि मेरे को जाना होता है तो आपको छोड़ना पड़ेगा. सुबह वाली एटीएम हमारी स्ट्रॉन्ग है. कॉपरेट करती है.
और आपने हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म में कोर्सेज कुछ करे हुए हैं? कौन सा
सारे अच्छे मैडम हमारे पोस्ट ऑफिस से रिलेटेड है.
आपके तो काफी कोर्सेज हैं.
हाँ, मैं तो सारे रिवाइज, जैसे मेरे 2022 में हमारी कोचिंग हुई थी ना उसकी हॉस्टल असिस्टेंट की, तो मेरे तो सारे रिवाइज हुए थे. सारे रिवाइज हो गए. फिर मैंने कर दिया. अच्छा है बढ़िया
इससे
है.
आपको लग रहा है कि
इससे नॉलेज है मैम.
जब आप काम करते हो
उसमें भी काफी हो. हमें कई चीजों का, कई प्रोडक्ट ऐसे हैं ना जिनके बारे में पता नहीं होता. फिर वहाँ से पब्लिक वाले हमारी ब्रांच में आ जाते हैं पूछने के लिए, हमें उसके बारे में नॉलेज होगी तो हमें पता ही नहीं. क्योंकि पोस्टमैन का काम ऐसा नहीं होता कि वो पब्लिक से डीलिंग.
और ये पब्लिक डीलिंग जो लोग रोज पब्लिक से डील करें ना, वो हमारे लिए बहुत एक जरूरी और इम्पोर्टेंट ग्रुप सिटीजन सेंट्रिक बोलते हैं. भाई जो गवर्नमेंट सर्विस है उसमें आप क्वालिटी और अपना बिहेवियर अच्छा है नागरिकों की
फिर कोई नहीं बात करेगा ना, वो फिर कंप्लेन करने चले जाते हैं सीधा। हमें तो बहुत ढंग से बात करनी पड़ती है।
आपको लगता है कि जब आप ऑफिस में रहते हो कोई डर डर लगता है आप बोला मैडम अच्छी हैं जो लेकिन कभी ऐसा लगा है कि
मुझे डर नहीं लगती, हम तो सीधा बोलते हैं कि
आपकी हिम्मत बहुत हिम्मत
हम सीधा बोलते हैं कि हमसे आप नहीं सुनोगे, हम अंदर जाएंगे।
वेरी
हम बोलते हैं यहाँ नहीं तो दूसरी जगह बदली करो।
और लेडीज हैं आपके आसपास जहाँ काम करते हैं ज़्यादा मेल पॉपुलेशन है या
मेरी ब्रांच में ज्यादातर जेंट्स है, मैं अकेली बाकी हूँ।
आप अकेले बात हो
हाँ, अभी तो फिलहाल अकेली एक मैडम सीसीएल पे अभी ज्वाइन हुई है। तो वहाँ तो जाएंगे ना तो
वेरी गुड so I'll come to the restaurant. Let me come to Anusha. Anusha, you can hear me, right?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
So share with us. We are sharing our daily experiences on the job. What it is like to be a woman in the office, and what goes well and what is the challenge. Please share with us your experience.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I'm a 2022 director to the office. So it's barely been 1 to 1.5 years of me joining the job. My job profile is both accounts officer and enforcement officer. For accounts officer, it's a desk job role, whereas for an enforcement officer, it's an on-field job. So people are actually asking me to not get converted to enforcement officer role because for ladies it will be very tough to work in the field. For this initial 1 to 2 years, I'm supposed to be serving in the office as an accounts officer. But after that, I have to serve as enforcement officer for 4 years. So the board of office is of the opinion that for females, the job profile of enforcement officer is not suited. And even for the outreaching campaigns, such as NAN program that we conduct every month, people are encouraging me to go to the outreach programs which are inside the town that I'm serving now. So I'm finding it very hard to fight against the other people's opinion that women cannot be performing the role in the field job. Because this has been established in the minds of the even the senior people in the office and also the young generation like us. They are very hesitant to see that women can perform the role of an enforcement officer too, and they can face the field difficult. So yeah, that is the major concern that I.
What are the reasons they give you for saying that they feel you can't do a field job? What are the reasons?
Yes, on a day-to-day job, we have to meet the employers from factories and establishments. And also we need to meet the uneducated people who are serving the factories. So the common notion is that they will be very harsh, they will be treating you ill, and they will be using foul languages. You might not stand all these things in the field. And they are saying that you have to travel as an enforcement officer, and which might not be suited for you. As an account officer, you can say you can sit in your office, do your job, and then get out of the office at 5:45 p.m. And this will be an easy task for you. For an enforcement officer, you have to travel a lot. You have to meet the employer at very odd timings. They may not be suitable for you. So they see that for a man, it's okay to face all these difficulties, but for a woman, it would be very harsh. So I just wanted to change that thing.
Are you working on some strategy to convince them otherwise? You have some ideas how you're going to pitch your.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Fortunately, my OIC there, I'm from Aro Guntur. My OIC there is very supportive of us, and they and he sends us to all the jobs, like recovery jobs also as part of training program. For the last 1 to 1.5 years, we are in the training process. So during the training process also, we are being sent to recovery as a recovery officer, as an attached recovery officers to the fields, just to see how the experience would be on an on-field job. So fortunately, it's been that because of the support of my OSC and the training schedule that was planned to in our operation, I'm finding it very easy now. But it's very tough to convince, change the mindset of the people who are already established in the office.
Yeah.
They are saying like you are given so much of training for no use,
Yeah.
because on the field, all these things that the training that you are getting will not be useful. Is what is their opinion. Is the established notion in the office. Even the office, I'm from the program we have been given almost 6 months of on-job training.
Yeah, we lost you for a minute. I'm sure you'll come back. So you see the assumptions that come with what we can and cannot do, what we should and should.
But I'm surprised in this day and age still these mindsets exist.
Yeah. I think you're back. So no, Anusha, I'm just saying. So these are some of the assumptions we have to face, right? When we join. I did something very clever when I came here and I realized how male dominated it is. I had some photos from the time I was working with the UN peacekeeping operations in Bosnia. It had me training how to fire guns with NATO troops. I had to go through this training of both heavier weapons and pistol training. Right? So I had photos which were classified then, but now, so I shared that with our leadership, male leadership. I said, one of them said, what did you do when you were in Bosnia? I said, I'll just show you. And somehow that had an impact because again, how does someone tiny, soft-spoken suddenly be firing guns with NATO troops? Right? It's a shock to the system. So we have to use many tricks in the book.
No, I was wondering what was the reaction when they saw you.
I think all shock and awe to quote George W. Bush. And it's a wake-up call because, and I'm not trying to show that I know how to use force or kill anybody. I'm just trying to show that don't make assumptions based on appearance or
Some preconceived notions we have.
Yeah. That a woman has to be loud in order to. I used to be a professor and I set up a public policy school at XLRI. So one of the students one day said to me, ma'am, jo dikhta hai wo bikhta hai. Now this generation is very smart, they know marketing talk. Ma'am, jo dikhta hai wo bikhta hai. I said, very interesting, explain what does it mean? I don't know if you are, Anusha, comfortable or.
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
Yeah, with Hindi. So I was just giving example of one young woman who was said to me, what you see sells. Right? This is a.
Yes, ma'am, I'm comfortable in Hindi too.
Okay. But this is a smart Delhi chick, and she was watching a middle-aged lady talk about public policy. I said, explain to me. She said, ma'am, the way this country is patriarchal, the one who speaks with force, the one who speaks often, and the one who shows perceptionally knowledge or understanding is the winner. Now this is a 27-year-old person. I am not a mother, so I have to be very careful how I deal with these young people. But I try to explain to her that tomorrow you will have somebody who may not have an arm, who may have speech difficulties. It was brilliant. Who can't make noise like you, who maybe is much better than you. So this marketing idea that you have, that for the time you are in the limelight position, you have to be loud to be a leader. It's a bit of a misconception, and of course, life will show you that. I don't have to lecture you about it. So I think this assumption that you can't do this, you can't do a field job because of. And I had this experience, with men in uniform abroad, white men in uniform, seeing a tiny Asian woman. It was a huge culture shock for them also. So it's not that our men are particularly uncomfortable. It happens abroad as well. So thank you for sharing with us. You are next, please.
I was transferred on rotation. So when I joined the new office, I went to meet my boss. He said, no, I don't have time. PS said that no, he is busy. Again, next day I went to meet him. He said, no, time nahi hai. 2-3 days I went, then I left. He's so busy. Then my assistant brought one file for me. Then I signed the file and sent to my boss. He returned the file. आप अभी फाइल साइन मत करो.
अच्छा.
ठीक है.
वजह बस मत करो।
15 हाँ काफी दिन ऐसे ही आई वाज सिटिंग आइडल। तो फिर एक दिन मेरे को फोन आया कि मैंने एडमिन में बोला हुआ है कि मेरे को ना लेडी ऑफिसर नहीं चाहिए, मेरे को मेल ऑफिसर चाहिए। तो अभी एडमिन ने कहा है अभी नहीं है कोई, तो ठीक है आप अभी शुरू कर दो काम। विद वेरी हैप्पी हार्ट ही कॉल्ड मी, ठीक है मैंने काम शुरू कर दिया। उसके बाद देयर केम वन कंटेम्पटिशन अगेंस्ट आवर सेक्रेटरी, तो आई वर्क वेरी हार्ड। मैं हमारा जो प्रेजेंट सेक्रेटरी था, ही वाज इन्वॉल्वड, ओल्ड सेक्रेटरीज टू ओल्ड सेक्रेटरीज वर आल्सो इन्वॉल्वड, दैट वाज अ वेरी क्रूशियल केस एंड द जज issued non-bailable warrant against our secretary. So I worked very hard. So after that he was so happy. He said, "You have changed my opinion about ladies." मैं ये सोचता था लेडीज आ जाती हैं, चाय पीती हैं, बातें करती हैं, चली जाती हैं। मैं इसीलिए लेना नहीं चाहता था आपको, इसीलिए मैंने एडमिन में बोला था कि मेरे को लेडी नहीं चाहिए, आपने लेडी दे दी उसको वापस लेना। बट मैंने जब काम किया तो he said कि I have changed my opinion.
देखिए he was honest with you, है ना? What was his perception? And it also takes a lot to be honest. The way I had a wrong notion about. और आपने इसी जिस तरह से आप बोल रहे हो इसी तरीके से बोल के किया, यानी कि आप चिल्ला रहे हो, शोर मचा रहे हो।
नहीं उसने मना कर दिया, मैं ठीक नहीं करूँगी काम, मना कर दिया। देन उसने अपने आप फिर खुद रियलाइज किया।
Your experience as
My experience, oh no, I think I've been lucky. So this is my third job in UGC. So earlier I worked with Intact, it's a non-government organization. And in fact, we would like to share that today morning, like our male colleagues, they came with a bouquet of flowers and some chocolates for us. Not me, there are, yeah, the female colleagues also. So that way, I mean, they are very, it's a genuine and good gesture which should be appreciated. So बहुत अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस रहा है मेरा। कभी भी ऐसा मुझे नहीं लगा कि जो जनरली भी किया ना कि बिकॉज यू आर अ फीमेल, क्योंकि आप एक महिला हैं तो आपके साथ भेदभाव होगा। फॉर्चुनेटली ना मैंने ये अपने वर्क प्लेस में 3 places I worked at Intact and I worked in the Information and Broadcasting Ministry and this is my third job. मैंने कहीं भी ये एक्सपीरियंस नहीं किया। और UGC में स्पेशली now it's been 20 years in UGC.
oh wow,
Yeah. So I have
fantastic.
yeah. So यहाँ पे तो we have to travel so much because we have to visit universities for inspection and all. So I have traveled with male colleagues. We had when I joined UGC was celebrating its golden jubilee, 50 years of UGC. So we had to plan an event. So I was posted in the golden jubilee cell. तो पूरा साल भर का हमको event plan करना था. In fact, and my son at that time was I think 6 years old. So thanks to my mother because she took care.
Yeah.
So I would reach home at 9:30, but then the office ensured कि गाड़ी से घर आपको ड्रॉप किया जाएगा। और यहाँ पे भी अभी भी जब हमारा कुछ काम होता है, it's not like it's a 9 to 5:30, शाम को देर होती है हमें हमेशा, when the parliament session is on, तो देर होती है, but हमें गाड़ी छोड़ने के लिए मिलेगी। My male colleagues, young जो भी हैं सारे वो they would insist कि मैडम हम रुकेंगे जब तक आप नहीं जाएंगी। I mean, I don't have to say that, but what I'm saying is.
But do you think, I'll interrupt and ask
Yeah.
you, do you think it's a function of being attached to 3 places which are more outward looking, in a sense? You see, there are ministries and organizations and other places which are more outward looking, education and UGC ले लो, Intact ले लो, IB ले लो.
Even हम लोग का भी
I also have similar experience in science and technology.
yeah.
I think there are a few
नहीं मैडम
places.
देखिए
So I'm
गवर्नमेंट
just
जॉब्स
thinking-
के बाद गवर्नमेंट वर्किंग इन मिनिस्ट्री ये क्या होता है कि दिल्ली में स्पेशली मैं हमेशा ये सुनती थी यहाँ तो विंटर्स आएंगे एंड महिलाएं स्वेटर्स बुनती रहती हैं।
But I have never seen that.
मैंने कभी नहीं देखा।
It was me also.
लंच टाइम अगर 1 बजे है तो 12:30 बजे से सैलेड कटना शुरू हो जाएगा और ये मतलब इस तरह की एक धारणा लोगों के मन में रहती है जो कि बिल्कुल ही गलत है। मतलब ये मैं अपने अनुभव के आधार पर बता रही हूँ।
Even with my experience also, I've been associating with Ministry of Science and Technology. I've been working there since last 17 years.
Yes.
Like I've never seen a single instance where anybody is nicking or cutting salad. I mean, everybody is on their seats. Starting from the multitasking staff to senior officials. I mean, everybody is working. Especially women का जो ये misconception है among the people कि भाई वो नहीं करती हैं या ऐसे करती हैं. So in my office also I've never experienced that.
Actually, in my family,
I mean,
in the
one or two random cases may be there and they may be there everywhere for men also as well for women also. There are some people who don't want to. You cannot make them work.
we cannot make it a gender thing.
Gender thing, it's not a gender thing per se.
In fact, ISRO का जब launch हुआ ना, and I come from North Indian stock, so you are North Indian men. They were so shocked कि South में इतनी scientists South में.
In fact, they are the best. I mean, you
Yeah.
see, when we have our meetings with universities in the south, I mean, they are the most.
Absolutely.
Yeah, always if you find them कि दूसरा अपने organization के बारे में मैं ये और बताना चाहूँगी कि people like women who are good at their work, they are appreciated, they are encouraged. In fact, last year जब हमारा capacity building cell बना, तो मुझे उसका charge दिया गया, and I'm thankful to them because really that interaction with the capacity building commission and your iGOT team. तो बहुत अच्छा रहा जो कोर्सेज वगैरह हम लोग करें. What I'm saying is this also I've realized, I've seen in fact कि अगर आप अपना काम अच्छा करते हैं, so it's not that you won't be acknowledged or recognized. So I have been lucky that way, but I'm sure and I've also heard stories where women have suffered, you know, जहाँ पे जो male colleagues हैं वो या उनके जो bosses हैं उनको ऊपर आने नहीं देते और and that way sexual harassment complaints also touch wood UGC में मैं बात कर रही हूँ.
That's wonderful.
DSC में भी नहीं
And
है.
I think it's a two-way thing ना, like
अब नहीं है मैडम, अब नहीं है, मेरे ख्याल से अब नहीं है
नहीं
ऐसा
है?
किसी को, क्योंकि अब ना अलग संबोध बस हम समझाते भी हैं कई बार. अब ह्यूमन हरासमेंट के लिए वो भी बनाते हैं, कोई बैठी हमारे ऑफिस में एक बार कि अगर कोई करेगा तो वो इसमें कंप्लेन करेगा.
बट मुझे लगता है ये
कंप्लेन के डर से नहीं होना चाहिए, करना ही नहीं चाहिए.
करना ही नहीं.
नहीं अब नहीं है
बहुत ज़्यादा
मैडम.
हाईली नहीं करना चाहिए because it creates like divide also. Then your male colleagues, they are scared to interact and work with you during late hours also. Like if you make too much of collaboration.
It has to be a collaborative. साथ में काम करेंगे तो ही.
And I think in the workplace, we are asking for clarity on competence.
Competence, absolutely.
You know, we are saying, you see,
Like we are already empowered, everything is there, it's just like there should be parity, whosoever works, he should be promoted. We should be given the leadership
एक
role.
चीज ये है मैडम कि like we are in Delhi, we are in the national capital. हम अखबारों में देखते हैं, हम न्यूज़ में देखते हैं, ऐसी हर जगह ऐसी स्थिति ऐसा नहीं है. When we talk of our country, काफी situation तो मतलब there so much needs to be done. Even in Delhi, like we have cases of stalking या बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं. अब social media आने से कितना ज़्यादा हो गया है.
No,
We
that's
have to be
right.
so careful, like.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I think you're very blessed, very lucky.
Yeah, that way I am.
You're naturally smooth in it. But and then as you go into states and as you go into smaller districts, also states, it's
नहीं, जैसे हम लोग ट्रैवल करते हैं, अभी आई वेंट टू पुडुचेरी, आई वेंट टू गोवा, लाइक ऑफिशियल विजिट्स पे भी, तो वहाँ पे भी पीपल है वही, मतलब जो मेरा अनुभव रहा है मैं बता रही हूँ. ऑफ कोर्स आई माइट लाइक इफ आई एम ट्रैवलिंग इन कैब, आई माइट हैव अ ऑल्टरेशन और व्हाटएवर, लाइक ऑल्टरकेशन विद द कैब. वहाँ वो हो सकता है कि वो ऐसा बोल सकते हैं कि मैडम आप उतर जाइए, हम नहीं आपको आगे लेके जाएंगे. अब दैट कुड नॉट, मेबी इट्स नॉट जेंडर थिंग, बट आपको लगता है ना बिकॉज मैं महिला हूँ तो इसलिए उसने ऐसे मेरे साथ ऐसे बात की. बट अदरवाइज on a daily basis, not rarely, but at least not in my office, not in, yeah.
and at home, it's the same, I hope.
Yeah.
So you have a very equal partnership.
Yeah.
What about you? Go ahead.
We often say that behind every successful male there is a female, but I would rather say that behind every successful female there is another powerful female who is sitting at home looking after the kids, looking after the family and taking care of everything, and that is why we can work effectively in the office. So I am lucky in that sense that I've got a very good mother-in-law who is always there supporting me, and that is why we can work effectively in the office and we can give our best. So we always need that support. So like when we have such powerful women who are there to support in every aspect, then they also set standards for us in the future, that we have to be like that, because in future we'll also be in their place maybe somehow. So that is.
Let me ask you, how is the dynamic between women in where you are at UGC? Between women, आपको लगता है rivalry होती है, issues होते हैं, या it flows quite well? Well, that's another stereotype. Put two women together and they are bound to fight. एक और stereotype है ना, men's mind. कि हम देखो हम कितने chill डाल रहे हैं, हम कहाँ रहते हैं? हम तो बड़े हैं. ये लगती है.
See, most of my friends are males, like तो ये कैसे हो सकता है, but ऐसा ही है. I get along very well with my male colleagues. तो ठीक है, I eat alone. मैं like usually होता है ना that you have a lunch group जिसमें आप maybe अगर आप ladies हैं तो usually it's a group of girls or women who eat together. हम अकेले खाते हैं लेकिन मुझे लगता है that not that I don't get along with my female colleagues, I do, but मुझे लगता है कि I think your communication skills, your demeanor, your how you behave or how you interact with your colleague, that really goes a long way in your relationship, in your interactions. तो अगर आपका व्यवहार आपका वो अच्छा है सबके साथ, नॉट नेसेसरली मेल और फीमेल, तो सबका आपके साथ अच्छा होगा और वो राइवलरी वाली भी
नहीं, for example, I'll give Sunita and my example. Sunita was handling content from the time the organization was set up. Then I come along, also another woman. There was great anticipation to see some kind of issues between us. कि भाई जो है, and she was asked, I was asked, do people get along? Other issues. And we used to ask ourselves, should we manufacture issues that don't exist? And can't two women, because I would look to her, she held my hand and helped me make the transition. So there was this great surprise that we are getting along, and I now want her to, stay and be around. So I was very amused that there was an expectation that we should be at loggerheads with each other. And we succeeded in busting that.
In fact, when I joined UGC, so I remember the Joint Secretary Administration, he called me and he said, Diksha, आप lunch किसके साथ करते हो? मैंने कहा सब मैं अकेले करती हूँ. So there was a group of senior Joint Secretaries and Deputy Secretaries who used to eat together. तो मुझे वहाँ लेकर गए कि अब आप इनके साथ lunch करो. मैंने कहा अरे, I was like, I said to myself, why is he forcing me to eat with them? I interacted with them, but मैंने decide किया कि मुझे that is how मुझे अकेले खाना अच्छा लगता है, मैं अकेले खाऊँ. Yeah, so but लेकिन वही है ना कि उन्होंने कि जो महिलाओं का ग्रुप है वहीं जाके आप बैठिए उनके साथ वहीं खाइए.
And those who are comfortable doing that, there's great pleasure in that too.
No, I sat there for a day. I'm sorry to say, but the जो वहाँ पे जो बातें हो रही थी, अभी आपने rivalry की बात की, so there they were all friends, but otherwise they were like professionally, so they could be rivals. वो भी मुझे बाद में ऐसा लगता था, but मैंने यही अपने इतने सालों के अनुभव में यही देखा है. Most of it depends on you, on how you behave. आपका अपना behavior that really goes a long way. आपका कैसे बाकी सब लोगों के साथ.
See, I spend so much time, I'm being given gyan by men. So when I just the women, I feel the great envelope that have to, this is a real world. वो जहाँ मैं घुस के and I have to combat for my space, वो real world नहीं.
दूसरा encourage करना, like मुझे अगर यहाँ भेजा जाएगा तो कहीं भी जाना होता है, I make sure that she comes along with me.
Yeah,
you have opportunity to learn.
Yes.
And you meet people.
ये बहुत जरूरी है. Next line of succession and people will take over. आप बताओ अपना science and technology, then we come here and then I'll open it to the KDs.
I'm saying technology is by and large gender neutral. Like we have female leadership, so around 60% of the groups are being led by females. And when we look at the number of scientists also working in the department, they outnumber males. So we don't have this kind of gender bias problem, especially in departments which are dealing with scientific subjects. So females are very well respected there. So I became head of the division when I have taken over as scientist. So I have been heading division since last 4-5 years. So as a leader, I have never been sidelined.
That's great.
So at least I never had that unpleasant experience of being sidelined. And moreover, I agree with you that your behavior goes along. How you are dealing with people. वो सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है कि आपके इंटरपर्सनल रिलेशनशिप में आपका कम्युनिकेशन कैसा है. आज भी मेरे साथ जो मल्टीटास्किंग स्टाफ काम कर रहे हैं मैं उन्हें जी के कर बुलाती हूँ. And he's so happy because he said to me, what goes?
हम भी यहाँ पे.
बिल्कुल. हाँ. So
we do that with us.
So he's so happy. Midnight also, if I want something from him, he will just go and get it done somehow. Well, if they are more bothered about my welfare than me looking at it, so madam, आपका bill डालना है, वो सब चीजें वो it goes very smoothly because it's about respect. So whatever work they are doing, if you have respect for your male colleague, they go out of the way to do things with you. आज मुझे यहाँ आना था ऑफिस में, like I have invited Maulana for oral checkup of women. So I was not there. I just called one of my colleagues. who's not even working.
That is something we also do in UGC. That's a good idea.
So I just called him. The team is waiting on the door. See, being a senior scientist, also he got up from his table. He went to the main gate and got that team inside. So the person who is not directly reporting to me or not directly working with me. So it's all about the interpersonal relationship. Ambience तभी बनता है जब आप अपने आप 100% आप डिवोट करने को तैयार हैं. I share my experience during COVID time. तो हम लोग पूरी रात काम करते थे कि 12 बजे आ रहे हैं सुबह PM को प्रेजेंटेशन देना है सेक्रेटरी ने तो 12-1 बजे तक like we were meeting like in spite of being myself I was down with hope. तो वो कमिटमेंट अगर आपका होगा तो फिर आपको भी मिलेगा. मुझे लगता है कि should come from within. You should be committed to any cause that whatever you are handling. कोई cause है, कोई भी आप काम कर रहे हैं उसके लिए if you are committed, so then things will definitely flow back to you. And even during my PhD days, लोगों को जैसे PhD में भी गाइड वगैरह से प्रॉब्लम होता है. तो my guide used to tell me 10 बजे के बाद let me don't work alone. क्योंकि if you are struck रात को मुझे बुलाओगे. So that was the problem, not the issue कि like you are a female. National Institute of Venology. So after that, I have worked at the Institute of Genomics and Integrative Biology. This is CSIR lab located at Mars. तो वहाँ पर भी हम लोगों के experiments चलते थे. तो my husband used to drop me at 9 o'clock कि ठीक है घर पे आओ बच्चे को थोड़ा खाना वाना खिलाओ. 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock रात में लैब में काम किया. 1 o'clock he used to come back and meet me. तो एक ये सपोर्ट होता है आप लोगों का कि मेल कोलीग्स का सपोर्ट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. मेल कोलीग्स आपकी फैमिली और आपको डेलिकेट चीजें छोड़नी पड़ती है. I mean you cannot do everything to the perfection. आज मेरी बेटियां आई हैं 2 daughters, one is engineer and दूसरे का भी मेंस क्रैक हो गया है तो eventually I think she will also become an engineer. बट दोनों का वही कमिटमेंट है काम के लिए क्योंकि they have seen their mother doing that also. And that really आपको कुछ उसमें करने की मुझे कभी जरूरत नहीं पड़ी. And you won't believe me, मॉडर्न में पढ़े हैं दोनों तो वहाँ लोगों को यही रहता था क्या कल्चर है, they will get into bad company. I haven't even spent a lot of time with them. But still, अगर आपका कमिटमेंट है, आप सीधे रास्ते पे चल रहे हो तो बच्चे वो फॉलो करते हैं. You don't have to teach them, but हाँ, I was with them. I used to talk with them. That was my only job. ठीक है, आकर आपने बात किया, अपना एक्सपीरियंस शेयर किया, उनका एक्सपीरियंस सुना, and they used to share every little thing with me. तो मुझे लगता है कि आप लोग का जो पर्सनल इंटरेक्शन है बच्चों के साथ, फैमिली के साथ और आपके कोलीग्स के साथ, that goes a long way. And you don't need to treat yourself like a woman. जितने भी पोस्ट हैं हम लोगों की they are all gender neutral. Scientist is gender neutral. Any post you take up they are gender neutral. So why do you consider yourself कि हाँ नहीं हम कम है या हम नहीं कर पाएंगे? मैं रात को 1-1 बजे भी फ्लाइट से आती हूँ. Yes, yeah. So this is my job also entails lot of traveling.
And I think as leaders, you know how we carry ourselves. Very true. Because एक तो है our relationship, but the way we carry ourselves says it all. So you don't have to.
If my team has any problem, I tell them कि okay, I'll stay back. You do. ठीक है. तो next के वो आकर वो काम मुझसे पहले आकर वो diligently करके देते हैं क्योंकि I am ready to fill in your shoes whenever required.
You're a great inspiration.
No, it's nothing like that. This is what I follow. This is what my way of life.
It's fantastic. And I think going forward it will be like that a lot more.
Because now my kids are grown up. If I have a female colleague who is younger kids, so I understand what I have gone through.
You're from
Ministry of Heavy Industries.
okay.
So if we can give that helping hand and little support, so it goes a long way. And they acknowledge also. ऐसा नहीं है all my female colleagues, they really go out of the way also to complete the task that is assigned.
We'll come to you. Let's hear from both of you, your experiences.
I'm from Parliament Secretariat.
Yeah.
I'm Mujibada.
Okay.
Actually, director in selection. Initially, when we joined the Parliament of India, I was little hesitant to deal with the members of Parliament. And we used to have steady members of Parliament. Right now, one of my senior officers is women, she's in secretary. And I used to encourage her and say to travel with the MPs.
Yeah, good question.
I'm hesitant to because they're politicians. We hear so much about politicians. In bureaucratic circle is different. And she said, now you have become an officer for your life because they are representatives of people. They know of yourself. Nobody can misbehave with you. Then we arranged, then we were in a position to guide them. As their guides. And in some places they will look at us as their teachers also. And when I got into interpretation service, we had to go to the inner lobby of the house and they interpreted the speeches directly. And there may be instances when our speeches will be heard by the Prime Minister of India.
Yeah.
So initially people used to ask, are you not afraid of? Why should I be afraid of? When my male colleagues were doing, and there are already women interpreters. Why should I? And women cannot live in an island. We have to cope with the male colleagues. But I'm fortunate enough to have very good male colleagues. My father was very particular in making me an officer because he was an officer, my mother is a teacher. So they made it a point that education is empowerment. And when I entered government secretariat, I was not much attached to the job. Then my father said, now it may not be, you may not know the real worth of the position. Later you would know. I realized it when my father was suffering from cancer. I could get appointment in leaves and he had to go for a stem cell transplant. I just posted a WhatsApp message that he has to be given blood plasma from 8 people. More than 100 of my people, they offered. They offered. And I was managing the hospitalization alone and they came. Who asked you to
One second, no chatting please in the back. We are listening to someone, okay?
Who asked you to be single and manage these things? We are there. We are there for you. We are there for you. We will help you. And during session time, we used to sit during late hours. Then, if it goes beyond 8, everybody's question is how would the women colleagues reach the home? So, we are given vehicles, and our male colleagues who reside nearby, they would volunteer themselves. I would drop. And family also needs particular support. When house is above 8 o'clock, dinner would be arranged for us at office. But we have to be worried who would arrange the food at home. Whatever position you reach, you are a homemaker. You are a daughter, you are a daughter-in-law, you are a wife. We have to think about all these things. My husband, he takes responsibility. He says, shall I cook for you also? When you come, whether that dinner is enough for you, you come. So we need that much support there. We need that much support there. And in this portal event, I saw we are going to discuss certain experiences in doing the courses. I have done more than 700 courses in this portal.
That's fantastic.
And of the courses I have done, I have prevention of sexual harassment of women adults. Of course, that is mandatory course. When we did the course, our male colleagues were wondering, yeah, these positions are also there. We thought sexual harassment means it's only physical. Yeah, so these positions are also there, so we have to be very careful with you people. So we have
And you know, I think men miss that it's the reverse also. See, a man can also be harassed.
Yeah,
Right? So their perception seems to be that sexual harassment means
that is when a male boss gives you work, or if a male boss is strict, it is taken up that it is bureaucracy, it is senior officer. But if a woman comes to that position, it's easy to comment. That is why women should not be given this position. They will behave like this only. That is why they should not be given. Some people even in front of our face also, they would make still this mindset is there, but it is reducing. It is reducing.
I think if you are not liked by your by the people you lead and they really dislike you, it's actually a compliment. Because you have not come there to be liked, right? You have come there for the responsibility to deliver. So if you're unpopular, means you're doing something right. If you're too popular, it's so there's another stereotype that a woman
And they say women officers are very rough and tough. So yes, we have to pass so many obstacles before in every stage of our education. When you come away from the normal path, we have to pass so many obstacles in education also, appearing for competitive exams, appearing for interview, appearing for health tests. Everywhere you need the support of your parents. You have to pass so many obstacles, and then after appointment also. So after crossing all these things, it has become very easy.
And I think what's very amusing is when all arguments fail, it becomes about your body. And she's hormonally challenged.
Your body, your
Yes.
character.
Character. Very, she loves to be with men. She's premenopausal, premenstrual, postmenstrual. You just blame it on the body. If you can't handle her way of being, or her power intrinsically, then it must be hormonal. Then they have to be educated. From what age to what age, which hormones kick in. I've had those conversations with male colleagues. Listen, you must know, if you have wives and you have relationships, you must know hormones. Don't blanket us that if we are being tough and asking you to deliver, it must be because we are malfunctioning biologically. That is scientifically not correct.
Of the courses in our portal, there is a wonderful course on gender sensitivity by NDP.
Have others taken?
So I want to wash one, but not gender
Gender
sensitive.
sensitivity. As a master trainer in our secretariat, I had suggested that course. And there are gender sensitization courses by ISTM also. And they have explained in detail what must be done and why it must be done. And they are discussing about the concept of gender parity also. And there are very good courses provided by World Bank.
Yeah.
World Bank.
That is also on our Shakti.
Gender equality and development, introduction to gender and disaster risk management, gender equality and energy. When I went through this course, I was wondering what is the relationship of gender equality with energy. And after going through the course only, I understood how much the presence of electricity plays in rural households and in bringing women empowerment in rural households.
So let's do this. We'll do another round. We will focus on our iGOT courses. I just finished the introduction and then quick KB members will introduce, and then we'll do a more in-depth discussion. Thank you. Yes.
I'll start from one of her points that the role of education and the role of family. So I was lucky that
Bit more central.
Why don't you sit and have your tea?
May I don't like this, sitting at the head of it.
so I'm lucky that I have a family that my grandparents and they valued education a lot. So during my childhood, I never felt that I was a girl.
Yeah.
I never felt it.
Where did you grow up? Where did you grow up?
I come from Kerala.
Which part?
Kochi.
And we were just there. I was just there a week ago.
So at home, I never felt that I was a girl. I was the eldest of the grandchildren. I was the eldest. So brothers sisters never a time that should be given to a boy. It should be given nothing like that. First time I felt, even in colleges, never. Professors and all, never. I felt any distinction between boy, girl, nothing.
But Kerala is an exception.
In colleges, of course, sitting in classrooms that time, at that age, I think it doesn't happen now. Girls used to sit one side, boys used to sit the other side. Other than that, from teachers, I never faced anything. They have always encouraged us. When I went to PhD, I did history. That time, what I felt was I had to choose a subject. We had 5 branches, so I had to choose a subject. And the one I chose, I didn't get, I think, because I was a girl. What was it? That was about optics. But the thing was, I had to climb every day and open one, door for that. So and every day night I'll have to close that. And I feel that I didn't get that because of they gave that to a boy because they thought that I won't be able to climb it up and open the door. That I think that. But other than that, there was nothing else. The only advantage I had was whenever we used for campaigns and all. So in between campaigns, you had to go for tea and all. So you may be having one vehicle. All the boys and professors, everyone will be packed in the back seat. I'll sit front in the I'll have the front seat all for myself. But they will pack themselves
senior scientists would have given the time in the behind. So,
So you have not also faced too many problems.
not too many
with
problems,
gender.
no, not. But after coming, joining ministry, I have felt that there is somewhere something is there that they don't value us. They don't.
There are some
no.
stereotypes.
Sexual harassment I have not faced, but this sort of things I have faced. Like I feel that sometimes I'm not generally I don't speak very loudly. I'm a little soft spoken. So when you speak, you're not being heard.
Yeah.
Sometimes that has happened.
Yeah.
with me. I spoke, but then no one cared about it. So that has happened.
And the hierarchy, in the hierarchies, you find that there's the sense that women should not lead, men should lead, or how is it in the hierarchy of things?
No. After a few years, I realized that if you have knowledge,
Yeah.
so that empowers you a lot,
Yeah.
and that gives you a value. So, I think I have quietly worked maybe a few years. No one knew about me. I'll sit in my place. I don't go chatting like her. I love chat a lot.
Me too. I also.
Because I have no, you don't. Others don't have to wait for me. I have my own time. So you should not bother others. So,
That is only me time we get in the office now. I like that.
yeah, in between you can do pauses also. I do that.
So we'll quickly finish with you, and then I'll ask sometime, and then you quickly also say something, and then the idea is we'll get into groups until lunch for a discussion on iGOT specifically, courses you have done, you would like, what you would like to see on the platform. So if you can guide us, and also we have now, I think Shubho can talk a bit about it. Actually, we are looking for champions and ambassadors for our content and our platform, and how you can give us ideas in having that setup done. We'll do that, but let's get to know
Just
it.
one little thing.
Yeah.
Given the time that we have.
Yeah.
We definitely have, what you just mentioned, but if you can just put in the iGOT Shakti
We've
program.
already discussed it.
You have done that?
Yeah, everybody knows about Shakti, they've taken Shakti courses.
Wait, have you shown it on the screen?
We do it, but then people are from, everyone has knows that connection. We can put it, but everybody is quite familiar with it.
How many of you have done the Shakti wash and so on?
Wash though I've done.
और क्या क्या था इसमें?
I had chosen 3 courses, I'll tell you.
Just wanted a sense of the courses.
And not just Shakti, since Shakti we have a lot of other courses.
Actually, yoga at workplace is one of the most popular courses in UGC.
So the 3,
Mission Life is another popular course.
Yes.
And emerging technologies.
Okay.
Gender,
That is a very
How
good.
many of you have done emerging technologies? Can you raise your hands? Emerging technologies?
Everyone must not be.
This is my first course.
I think I can say that WITP courses are.
I have done waste management also.
Waste management also. Okay.
No, we've done all the courses which were like DO mandated by DOBT, all those we have done. In fact, the
So
capacity.
I think we've covered that. We're just finishing with intros. Then we'll get into groups on
That's fine.
ambassador discussions and what else we can bring on the platform. So please go ahead. Please introduce yourself so we know you.
I'm Sonia Kapoor, yes, in Ministry of Heavy Industries.
Okay.
Working with Joint Secretary.
और आपका एक्सपीरियंस जॉइंट सेक्रेटरी साहब है या मैडम जॉइंट सेक्रेटरी साहब के साथ कैसा रहता है डे टू डे?
But actually, when I joined him, my main request was not sitting late much because family he agreed and I was 95.
तो मतलब ठीक चल रहा है अभी तक, ऐसी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं?
उनके साथ तो ठीक है, कभी कभी हो जाते हैं,
कभी कभी तो होना चाहिए, नहीं तो क्या है लाइफ बिल्कुल ही नहीं हो बॉस के साथ तो then you are in trouble, ना? You have to speak up. At least I do it, and I do it quite honestly and maybe brutally sometimes. You have to, because you have to be heard. So we come to our, it's lovely to hear from others. We come to two women that I admire amongst all the others here. To give a quick snapshot, having your time here so far, your experience, and then Nancy.
So to all the Karm Yoginis in the room and the Karm Yogis, some of them are here. So
I forgot
wishing all
about
of you a very happy Women's Day. See, as a professional, I think all of us have witnessed increasing feminization of the workplaces. We through since the time we joined and at this stage after 15, 18 years of experience, we've seen a greater number of women entering the workforce. And I've also seen that now a lot of women are building their capacities, skills, and taking over the corporate world. There is an increased, significant, this focus on STEM education also, where you will find, I think, globally, is you want girls at an early stage only to get introduced to those subjects which are, you were traditionally male dominated, that it was a given that girls will not opt for science subjects or get into technology or engineering. But I see now things are changing very fast. And most of us, I think, are working in gender friendly workplaces. Let's all endeavor that, that just gender equality, gender equity, they don't just, become definitions to discuss on Women's Day. It should be something, it should be a norm for us at the workplace in general that, I mean, this is the normal life. Business as usual for us should be that we don't really need to discuss and explain these terms to other people. I've also had a fairly good, career journey so far. But during my early days, when I was, deputy manager HR in ATDC, I have faced sexual harassment there. I was not vocal about it at that stage, not very mature about how to, deal that. So my strategy was to basically avoid, meeting that person. Or if we happen to, stand in the lobby together and we are waiting for the lift, I would, turn around and take the staircase. If we are sitting in a room together, he was a very senior person in HR, and there were multiple times when we had to sit together in meetings. So if there was no third person inside the room, I used to simply go out and, wait outside till some of the other colleagues joined. But later, as I grew up in the organization, in the ladder, I realized that the mistake I made. I mean, it should not have been something that I took that strategy to avoid the person, because that is not the right approach to do things. I should have escalated the issue, should have, given a proper complaint in writing. So henceforth, as a head of HR in different capacities in different stations of NTPC, I have helped women who face such problems that they should come forward, give it in writing, to make them comfortable. That we can give, to give due diligence to those cases and try to bring a closure to them. So, since we were all sharing our experiences, I just thought this is one experience that, most of think that I should be quiet about it because, what will my other colleagues think? And then there is a certain impression they form about you. If you go ahead and complain, they will think she's, those types, if you talk to her or be a little friendly, she will go and, complain about it.
But I'll
That is something.
but one we have to be very careful that this thing is so sensitive. We have to be very careful in making sure how we are defining harassment.
Yes.
Because what is happening now, as I see in the workplace, men are so scared
Yes.
that any little thing that they do is construed to be harassment. If they say you look lovely in this color is harassment. If they,
No, I agree.
the chairman of CBC
Is that harassment?
No, I'm just saying.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
it all depends on the, it all depends on the person.
It all depends on who take it.
So,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah,
harassment.
perception.
Somebody giving you a compliment is not
I'm just saying that we have to be.
Just one more thing, ma'am, before you get started. It's not only about how you take it, or also how they deliver it. Sometimes the way is very friendly. We are able to understand, okay, like cerebral capacity, we are able to understand it is coming from the right place. But if it's not coming from the right place, then even that line itself can also be.
And also,
I think we all have that innate, something is there inside her.
Right.
Inside us, that when you know the way a male colleague or any other male is looking at you, so you can make out, the intent
Yeah,
or
but I'm
the
just
way
saying,
it is.
let's also be very careful especially when we are mentoring women. Let's be very careful in how we make them understand the sensitivity and nuances of what is harassment in the workplace, because you don't want male colleagues terrified of doing everything in their works both ways. Yeah. We have to be sensitive to that as well. Somebody, if someone does, you don't look your age. You don't look your age. Is that harassment? Is that ageism? Is that, what is that common? Or someone is giving you a hug. Is that harassment if I don't have an issue with it? So I think the opposite way of it is we have this great forum to address it. But let's be very clear about specific things which we regard as serious violations by either men or other women. There are women who like women and hit on them. So what constitutes harassment? We have to use it very judiciously, otherwise we won't be taken seriously.
Yes, that is
So I just wanted to add that to
So it's very important, you see, when we read about POSH and we read about the Act, I mean, there are so many gray areas in between that the Act cannot define. And actually, when it comes to doing something about it, I think many of us are in trouble. So if you're aggressive by nature, maybe you go ahead and, in full scale and do something about
Do you
it.
think if something happens, one instance, and if that person does not repeat it, so you ignore it, should that be the case?
No, I think you have to take it up. I think anything that makes any one single person, anyone in a workplace uncomfortable has to be addressed. For example, if I have felt bad about anything, and it's my nature to speak up. I will not refrain from doing it. But I think first line of communication is directly tell the offending part.
Absolutely.
Right? But listen, this is not on. Right? You're making me uncomfortable. And then, of course, depending on the severity of the violation, we will scale it up. But I think that, because I have a lot of regard for male colleagues here, and they walk on eggshells. Can we say this? Should we do this? Should we not do this? It becomes for them, a minefield to navigate. But here are a bunch of women. If I say, oh, your smile is beautiful, I'm in trouble. I'm out of a job. Or if he's coming and just standing next to me, in what way he's standing next to me? Donald Trump did it to Hillary Clinton. She could have said he's harassing me, but she went on. So I think we have to not misuse the privilege we have of reporting harassment issues. We have to also know that equally men feel harassed too. So it goes both ways.
So talking about the privileges, like I commute by metro. So there is a women's seat, there's one particular bogie or one particular compartment all for women, and in the others two seats are lightweight. So, but you walk into the metro, males are sitting there. So what do you think? Should we tell them get up? It's for us, even if they are old or they need to say.
I mean,
I just wonder sometimes. Because some young girls would come and like, उठिए, हमें बैठना है. Come on, yeah, let them sit.
I mean, I personally like to stand. Because sitting makes you sick. You have to stand and not just. But I think these are individual calls you take. If it says for women, you want him to get up, tell him. If you feel, let him sit. I believe in gender equality. Even if it's for me, he wants to sit and cause himself cardiac issues, is his problem. So I think these are individual calls. But when you're part of an institution and you are saying that this particular individual is making me uncomfortable because of my gender, then it is a whole different matter. Then you must have the maturity to deal and address it with the person or scale it up if that person repeats. There are repeat offenses. So, Simi, please, come. Short people have to stand.
Thank you, ma'am, for such a nice introduction that you have given for me. I'll start my, 2-3 lines with congratulating each one of you for putting in so much efforts, whether it's in your personal life or in your professional life. So we should be, acknowledged not only for a day, but I think it should be the whole year or the whole process. So I think that I am blessed to wonderful and incredible parents. My dad used to tell me when I was kid that when a female female is born, it is his father who take care of her, and the moment she get married, it's his husband who takes care of all her tantrums and everything. And the time that she gets old, it's his son who takes care of her entire journey to the, getting old or getting sick and taking care of her in entirety. But I don't want you to become like that. I want you to become that person that who is confident enough, who can lead her own life. And by doing this, what he did, he empowered me with education, and he told me that you have to stand on your own 2 feet and you need to raise your family. You need to become that person that for which I should be proud of. And I think and I hope that I'm making proud of each and every single day. So I think, and it's just a message to all of us who are sitting here, that it's no matter who your father is or who your husband is or who the man in your life is. What matters the most is that you have to be responsible for your own self independence and at the same time for your own self finances. So I think, and I've seen, in various spheres of life, that the moment you get married and your husband is rich, the first thing that anybody asks is why you're working. It doesn't matter whether you are earning 15,000 or 15 lakhs or any X amount, but it matters is that you are self-independent. You don't have to ask for your choices. You have to make your own self choices. So I believe that we should be, empowered to do so, and we should lead our life in such a way. Second, the foremost important thing is that every woman is, when we go in leadership and wherever we go, go to any industry visit or anywhere, we feel that we are asking for a self recognition. What I feel is that, we need to empower ourselves in our confidence. The first and the foremost thing is the confidence that you build in yourself. And the confidence that I feel, you're not born with it. You have to develop over the period of time. You need to develop. You need to, enhance your skill set, and you need to be the best version of yourself for each single day. So I feel that instead of asking men to give us the opportunity and to recognize us, it's better that we should be thinking about our self betterment, and we should develop our skill sets by each passing day. So it's better that I do not believe that we need to ask anything from men. If you're there, you need to make your presence right in the, whether you're working in an organization, whether you're a housemaker or a housewife. It doesn't matter what you are, but what matters is that you have the confidence to build a society. You have the confidence to build a system. So it is the most important thing for anyone, whether it's men or it's a woman. And the second thing that I feel that the most important factor for your growth is you need to have ambition in your life. You need to have a sense of purpose, that this is the purpose that for which I am existent on. And the moment that you wake up in the morning, you should have a purpose. It's not about giving a contribution to your organization. It's just like contributing to your own self, contributing to your family, and making contribution in any which ways. Somebody could have ambition of buying a house or a car or anything like that, but you need to have certain ambition for yourself. Please bring your ambition to focus, and then only you can fly. And the most important thing that you should have, most of them, men or women, we used to say that we should have dreams, but I don't believe in making any kind of dreams because it can shatter. So it's better that you aim for certain things in your life, and once you create any aim for yourself, I'm sure that each one of you has a capability or ability, or the women around the world, that they can achieve it. So I believe in making the aim or goals in my life and achieving it step by step in my life. And the last but not the least is whatever privilege that we have, there was a time that we do not expect women to drive or women to have privilege in our society, and there were certain stereotypes that even you discussed, ma'am discussed, everyone discussed that there were certain stereotypes. So it's us that we create a legacy for our future generation, that we should break those stereotypes, and we can do it by, I think, and I hope, I have a son who is 8 years old, so I think we can start breaking those stereotypes by educating our boys to, treat women equally in the, every woman, whoever is in their life. And also we should educate our daughters to, raise the voice against her own self. And the moment that any women, they have their self love for themselves, then only, people will not recognize you. People are not going to give you something ahead. They are not going to give you roses each and every day, but you have to have self-respect. You have to have self-love, because the moment you start loving yourself, the people will also, be coming to you, and they will be, treating you the way you want. So we need to educate our daughters also that, you should have your voice, whether you're a child, whether you're a student, whether you are working in an organization. As ma'am said that, whenever you disagree, it's better that you put forth to the leadership role. And as I work as a company secretary, it's my job, like, where there are many times that, our opinion does not meet with the person who are at the hierarchy level. So, but being as a company secretary, we have to follow the compliances and everything. So it's the thing that we have to follow, and we have to ensure. So I think that the voice is the most important thing, and we should definitely have a say in an organization or in your family. These are things that I would like to say.
Now it's very clear why I'm yeah, she's amazing and I'm totally in awe of this lady. So I think now what we can do is, yeah, I think now what I would like, sorry, everybody has not got a chance to speak. So what I would like our KB team and all our guests to form some little groups will help you. Two agenda items, one, your experiences with iGOT courses, and second, recommendations for us on what else you want to see on the platform, and also this ambassadorial, role that we are creating for those who will champion our content and iGOT in general. Do I understand anything?
No, I'll just add.
Yeah, please. I think you can come now and take and speak.
No, you stand there, no problem.
See, this is how they order. Stand there, don't let it. It's my choice. It's I'm
No, I mean, after, Samta's talk,
We are speechless.
I'm speechless.
Yeah,
I mean, I
she's
should give
incredible.
her another round of applause. Because what I liked about what you said is there's a very clear direction. Okay.
Yeah.
So it is not an ideal situation right now. Okay. Things are changing. Okay. But you also have to, I mean, I have to be very careful.
No, no,
What I
it's
say.
okay.
I should not sound like you know the word mansplaining.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Should not get into
Yeah,
mansplaining.
that's a good
territory.
idea.
But a
Don't
little
go
bit
there.
of that will happen, so I request you for forgiveness in advance. Okay, but she showed a very clear way, and I think it applies to men also.
Yeah, very much. Very
You
much.
must wake up in the morning and know, what is your purpose.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Why are you doing what you're doing?
Yeah.
It cannot be
Correct.
derailed by many other things. So if you have purpose, if you're very clear about what you want to do, you will find a way. Nobody will put you down. I mean, whether it's a male female thing or a male male thing, that also happens, right? So
No, very true.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
think the financial independence
yes,
also applies
absolutely.
to both men and women.
Yeah,
See, you
yeah.
have to think about when you won't be earning anymore.
Yes,
What
yes.
you're planning.
They have to be financially, as far as possible, they have to be
Yeah,
financially.
that's so
And I
important.
think men also.
Thank you for saying that. That's so important.
Because, you can find yourself alone when you,
Yeah.
whether you're a man or woman.
Right.
And in old age, when you don't earn anymore. And so she was spot on. That's why.
I must add a little anecdote that happened between me and my wife this morning.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
I've told you. My wife has a small consulting business in the development sector. Okay, so Come, Rakesh, you come at the right time. So only, I was some friend of mine on some WhatsApp group, school का WhatsApp group, they were discussing investments, retire करने के बाद क्या होगा and stuff like that. Okay. So I asked my wife, "Acha, if I retire at some point, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now, will you give me a job?" And within a nanosecond, the answer was no. Okay. So basically, she's asking me to save and take care of yourself. I'm there, but don't depend on me. So anyway, I will not get into the discussion. But anyway, to come back to this ambassador program, forget the word ambassador. Okay, we want suggestions from you on how to promote iGOT amongst women colleagues mostly, but also the broader ministry or department. So is it through small meetings like this at iGOT or at your ministry or department? Is it online, since all of us are online anyway, email or a WhatsApp group or something, just give us all ideas. We want to take all ideas and bring them to life. Huh?
Yeah,
So
I think, we have, we don't want to keep you too delayed from lunch, so maybe what we can do between this and we have 2 rooms, we form some small groups. I'll ask Nidhi and maybe Siddhi, will you both come and help us? We get into groups and just for ideas, and somebody should, in the groups, maybe we form 4 groups, small one. And somebody, sorry, I haven't called on Muddu and Akshay. Muddu and Akshay, any closing thoughts on women empowerment, leadership, gender parity? One line each, that's all you get. No discrimination.
There is one line, I think everybody feels only a woman is supposed to stand up for women, but I think it is said everybody needs to stand up for themselves. And there is no notion of perception that only women should stand for women or something. It might be anyone. So Women's Day might not be just meant for a women or women's talk about it, but maybe people who are concerned about gender as well.
Thank you, Muddu. Akshay, you are another quiet. Akshay is another quiet jewel of our organization who very quietly gives support and does tremendous work. When he speaks, I always listen because it's very wise. Give in 1 or 2 sentences your.
Ma'am, as per my experience, just one line.
Yeah.
I would like to add. मैम, जो मेरे दोस्त हैं और जो मैं हूँ, हमारी पर्सनालिटी बहुत वैरी करती है, ओके, एंड ये इशू रहता है कि तुम बायस्ड क्यों हो टुवर्ड गर्ल्स और मेंस के लिए क्यों नहीं हो। उसका रीजन मेरे लिए जो है वो एक पर्सनल रीजन है, वो ये है कि मेरी जो अपब्रिंगिंग हुई है ना, वो मेरी बहनों के साथ हुई है, मेरी मदर के साथ हुई है, तो मुझे पता होता है कि वुमेन्स को कहाँ इशू हो सकते हैं या वो क्या फेस कर रहे हैं। तो वुमेन के फेस पे या उनके डिश से पता चल जाता है when she is uncomfortable and when she is saying no, that means no, और वो हर एक चीज के लिए पॉइंट है। मेन वो चीज समझ नहीं पाते क्योंकि उनका एक्सपीरियंस जो है वो वैसा नहीं रहा है, वो मेन के साथ ही रहते हैं, तो जो एक मेन का माइंडसेट होता है वो वही आगे फॉलो करते हैं। तो आई थिंक आपको थोड़ा सा सॉफ्ट होना पड़ेगा, मतलब ये एक फैक्ट है, आप कुछ एक्स्ट्रा नहीं कर रहे हो उनके लिए, वो डिजर्व करते हैं मेरे हिसाब से। सो आई थिंक
बट आपकी जनरेशन में आपको लगता है कि अब ऐसा है कि देयर इज अ सेंस ऑफ इमीडिएट recognition of equality, like if you are planning to marry or you're with a partner, intrinsically you know this is an equal partnership, वो आप लोगों को लगता है कि वो एक गिवन है इन अ वे, जो कि पहले शायद नहीं था।
मैम आई थिंक अभी भी जो माइंडसेट है मेन का, इंक्लूडिंग दिस जनरेशन आल्सो, वो उतना अपलिफ्ट नहीं है मेरे हिसाब से, क्योंकि जिनके साथ मैं उठता बैठता हूँ अभी भी एक ये इशू है अभी भी ये चीज के लिए, एंड आई डोंट थिंक सो ये 1-2 जनरेशन तक और भी पूरा 100% आप उसको चेंज कर सकते
One thing that we have to understand. See, we are fortunate enough. We've had upbringings, we've had good education, supportive parents, supportive partners, supportive mother-in-laws. The point is that there are many women in India who are not as fortunate as us. So it is, we have a greater responsibility on our shoulders to try and, push them also. So empowerment is not just something that we are talking about in the room. I think most of us understand. For us, it is, I mean, it's normal.
Absolutely.
But then we have a responsibility in the society itself, to the less fortunate women who come in contact with us, how to uplift them, how to,
Absolutely.
trying to mentor them, at the times when they need help. And what he said, I agree with him. There is, I think, still 1 or 2 generations to go when that equal partnership, that mindset is there in the.
But awareness अब ज़्यादा
Awareness तो है, but actions जब आ जाते हैं तो फिर आप पीछे हो जाते हैं.
See, I'll just, if I may,
Yeah.
so when I hear, when women say no, they mean no. What does it mean for men? When they say no, they mean yes. When they say yes, they actually mean
No, when they
So let us avoid these stereotypes.
Yeah.
And as Running Man said, all of us in this room come from extremely privileged and educated backgrounds. It is our moral responsibility to spread the word. And there are, I have seen a lot of women get a lot of support from their husbands or, family all my life. My mother, for example, okay, this is long time back. She started working and in those days she would take a rickshaw and then change into a bus and then change into a train and then get into another bus to go to Calcutta. We lived in the suburbs. Okay. My father, in spite of a lot of opposition from our extended family, from our neighbors, stood by her right through till her retirement day. Okay, so there are people like my father, like your husbands, like your parents, etc. They need to be, do a lot of sensitizing, changing,
I mean, I
etc.
relate to that.
Yeah, and I'll just end with one thing. India is, in spite of all the things that we hear, India is far ahead of a lot of countries when it comes to women's equality, including the US, including a lot of
So
Western
US
countries.
is very backward.
I was just reading this morning, the Universal Franchisee. India, it happened in 1950. In the US, it happened sometime in the mid or late 60s.
Yes.
A lot of places women were not allowed to vote. Black people were not allowed to vote. In Georgia, it happened in 1968. And the recent thing in Parliament, I think the next or whatever, at some point, it will be 50% women. So, these things.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. We grew up with Indira Gandhi in charge of the country. So for us, it was, we were small children, we used to hear.
So I think we need to focus on the positive things that are happening, identify them, and give them platforms as change makers, like all the people in this room.
Correct, absolutely. I agree.
So that's
So
all.
I think Rakesh जी आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगे?
Sir is coming in exactly 7 minutes.
ठीक है, so he can come and say hi and then.
But in the meantime.
So Rakesh, आप because हमने अपनी personal बातें सब करनी है.
But what about the rules and all that?
अभी we can do it quickly. You want to wait for sir या हम like?
No, you start off. Sir will come.
So smart. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Pleasure. It was real pleasure interacting with you.
Thank you.
And please come and see us.
Absolutely.
So we can start off.
Yeah.
And,
So Nidhi and Siddhi will help form us into quick groups, and we have about half an hour. Half an hour of.
Sure. We have time. We have a little time.
Why don't we do it just like that?
As
Instead
we-
of forming groups.
Yeah,
I think it will be
that
much,
also.
it will take too much time and it will be a little bit
So
of.
ma'am, my suggestion is हम board में लिख लेते हैं.
आप
yes.
हरी ना पाते. I'll sit with Rakesh.
We can just write on the board
Yeah.
marker pen.
Yeah.
It's the best suggestion. And when sir comes, I'm just.
You can come.
So I have 2-3 points to make. Can I take this opportunity till the time sir is coming?
No, we have to start with the exercise. During it, you give your point.
Alright.
So ये शुरू करें ना, in between you give your.
So all of you have been through the courses on the platform, the
We just help her.
where we are, the gender related courses. But as female Karmayogis on the platform, I'm sure you have some idea as to how we can have a wider perspective pertaining to gender or otherwise courses which you feel that would attract more women participants on the platform and more women from say at all levels, not just the senior levels, who would be intrigued and would be wanting to log into the platform and look at those courses. So we just thought this is an opportunity since all of you are users, आप सभी courses कर रहे हैं, तो आपको क्या लगता है कि और ऐसे कौन से courses होने चाहिए जिससे कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा महिलाएं जो हैं इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे आएं और उनको करना चाहिए. तो just the house is open. Any ideas from anybody, including the KB team as well?
अब ये जो महिलाएं हैं, they are all working women now.
Yes.
So we have to keep that in mind.
Yes.
Otherwise, मैं बोलने वाली थी कुछ रेसिपीज वगैरह आप दिखा दें. So now is the thing is कि we want to do everything. Like why should it be like categorized into something specifically
So
for
I'm
women?
saying not just specifically for women. I think courses which would interest women. I think there is one course that we should, the financial, how to build financial acumen in women. I think this is one course which we should have on the platform. Even if we have to talk to a lot of the content providers. जो lowest level से you can the women they need to know how to invest their money. I think this is one area in which many of them are lacking. कि कहाँ पे invest करें, कैसे saving करें. So what should be the best way to do? So from my side, I think this is a course that we need to focus on. Offer at all levels,
जो schemes available है for women, which you can. And also like for instance, I can talk about
महिला सम्मान पत्र.
हाँ वो नहीं
महिला सम्मान पत्र.
Like Government of India schemes for women. Since we are talking about working women, so like I can talk about postdoctoral fellowships that UGC offers. So something about this scholarship schemes, scholarship fellowship schemes for women. So even working women can do those courses. We can talk about the SWAYAM. Now the SWAYAM again is a platform, online platform where you have courses being offered by IIM, which again they are available here also. But we have several courses which are available on the SWAYAM platform. If a link of that could be provided here on the iGOT, that would really help.
We are taking
SWAYAM program from IIM.
No. SWAYAM is a Ministry of Education's initiative, and it offers. IIM Bangalore offers management programs. IIT Madras, several consortium of IITs offer program on that. UGC offers program on the iGOT platform. On the SWAYAM platform. Recently, we launched the SWAYAM Plus portal, which has industry academia. So you have skill enhancement and employability courses. So that is also something that you can. The link can be provided on iGOT.
Sunita, आप courses का बताओ, anything else? Because Sunita is she was the platform inside her. What all other
Financial literacy, as you say. Financial literacy.
What about things like psychological?
So we have another idea. Ma'am has mentioned that there need to be courses in cyber security, especially for women, against women, because like she mentioned earlier, like stalking or things like that which are happening.
Yeah, like deep fake.
Maybe we could have some courses which focus on how what are the things that women need to be careful about when they are using the platform. So and otherwise, so cyber security focus for women.
Social media in general, what are the precautions to take?
And then there can be courses for women who are the frontline workers. For example, Asha, Anganwadi, where the female play a very major role. And what I strongly feel is that there should be some courses that how are they dealing with citizens. And that can be a great learning for people in the center also.
Correct. Because their interface with the citizen is
so that can be part of the Jan program.
I think you need to open the platform to students in the universities and colleges as well. So
That's
we're writing to Abhishek Singh sir.
We are working.
We are starting with the central universities, so that is something that needs to be.
That is a huge constituency.
Yeah.
So
no, UGC also has women's study centers in several universities.
Yeah.
We also have a gender sensitization program. We have Saksham guidelines. We have a portal for women where women students and faculty members can lodge their complaints.
What about STEM? I have this great need to demystify STEM and to bring more science and technology learning for women. So that there is again this intimidation factor when it comes to science, engineering, maths.
I think you can approach the Office of the Scientific Advisor.
Yeah.
They have been conducting a lot of programs for STEM, for women in STEM.
Because women in STEM in India, as Shubhu was saying, It's big, it's bigger than any
Yes,
Western
yes.
country.
There is a lot of work being done to understand.
So if we can also, I think, address that area. Um, I actually have a training in psychoanalysis, and I'm always looking to push for courses on psychological preparedness.
Actually, mental health is something
Yeah.
that I think is another area where
And
can
there's
also-
even physical health also.
Mental
Physical
health
health
is-
and hormonal health, which is specific to women.
Yeah.
Social emotional learning is a very popular course which
Health issues.
UNESCO offers that I think can
Social emotional learning.
learning, yeah.
And health courses focused, on women.
You can also that is called social emotional learning. So that's such a great handwriting, isn't it? It's so legible. Acha, sorry, Anusha, I hope you are feeling, please go ahead, yes, please.
Yeah. Ma'am, I just want to differ on one thing that opening up the platform for students, I don't think that would be a good idea at this point of time. Because students they're
Yeah.
getting.
It's for government, our platform is for government officials. It's for government officials.
Yeah, but someone made a suggestion that opening the platform for students would be a better idea.
I think we could open it institutions
I just-
which have, we have, institutions which have students. Universities are regularly giving us content, both from India and abroad.
See, madam, initially we are approaching you for onboarding of the non-teaching staff in central universities. There are around 45 central
Yeah.
universities.
Yeah.
Students, I said, because why? I mean, knowledge is sharing should be there for everyone. I mean, there are courses, Bosch and all. Why shouldn't students know about it? I mean, the content should be, of course, that will be thought of later.
Later, yeah. For the
Yeah, but-
moment, it's the government ecosystem. But certainly they have courses from institutions which have students, and those students would be aware. They may not use our platform, but they would be aware of at least awareness of a big thing for them to know. Any other
ideas from our own team, from the
maybe
youngsters?
ladies and gentlemen?
Is there any corner where, because in between working sometimes, you have doubt about something, you feel that it would be better. So is there any corner where you can just send messages on I need a call on this, if you cannot find it on, is there anything?
Yeah, actually, we are actually, building on those features in the system, like where you can have an interactive. What she's talking about is that if she has doubts about something, there should be a corner, a chat corner where you just type in your. And maybe some other person has also faced a similar situation can actually discuss on the platform.
There are Microsoft Teams link, like 10 to 5 every day, Monday to Friday. They have that link.
So there's a discussion how where it
Not
should
about the topic, I didn't find the post, like, I wanted to know about autonomous bodies and the rules, and I would like to have a post. So I didn't find anything such on iGOT. I think I actually dropped a mail. Is there any corner, I feel that
I think the Gyan Karmayogi is developing in such a way that you have all those repositories for policies and documents. It's the ministries that are taking it forward. उनके पास जो policies है, they're contributing it, so that we break the silos across them.
Actually, she has a query. She says that she wanted to know about autonomous bodies in the government. So she couldn't find something on iGOT related to that. So what she's trying to say is there should be some corner, some mechanism available on iGOT where you can just mention that these are the courses that we were interested in searching for something, but we could not find. And that can be an input for us to kind of get some content related to that.
Yeah, there's a discussion forum, discussion hub, you can give context, and of course, you can reach out to us directly.
Yeah, you can always, this is a blanket offer to everybody in the room. Please reach out to us. And wherever you feel we can add things to the platform.
So for now, ma'am, you can put a ticket on the system, that reaches a team and we'll channelize it internally. But then, yeah, we have heard you.
We can
We come back
add
to
Hindi teaching course for people from non-Hindu background.
Yeah, we are going,
Because,
we are going to be going.
there
All the
are
Rajbhasha
learning
courses.
Kannada.
Yeah, yeah,
Rajbhasha
Being a
courses.
South Indian, I have faced this difficulty.
yeah.
And if it is in Karmayogi Bharat, it would be much use for people from non-Indian.
Correct, correct. No,
With
that-
Central
the
Valley
idea is
Direct
to
Line.
have content in everything, and all the conditions.
Yeah, that is also there. And teaching of a language. We have some courses in
Language
Odisha, Odia language and Bengali. But not Hindi, Marathi. Marathi, Gujarati, but not Hindi.
Please check out these courses. They are available on the Swayam platform. You can learn Russian, you can learn German, you can learn Tamil, Telugu, Hindi, everything.
Anything, girls, from your side?
Dakshita, Priyanka,
Can I make it?
Anshu? Yes, 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 Anshu.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Anusha, yeah.
Yeah. Ma'am, can we have some posts related to change of career or something in the government departments itself? Because it has come to my notice that many of the male colleagues will be discussing on these topics on a day-to-day basis, on what other career opportunities they have in other departments. But because the number of people, for example, from both AP and Telangana states, I was the only female recruit in our office, in our batch. So if I get to know the information after a certain period of time, like a week or so, but on a day-to-day basis, on these WhatsApp chats and everything, the male colleagues are being more up to date on these things. So if you can have some courses or some videos on there, like what are other departmental opportunities we might be having in different phases of your career, too much
Yeah, so
useful,
in the department.
especially for the female people.
In the department transfers and other things. So how is it that male colleagues talk about it and you don't get prepared? What is the reason?
Because of the sheer number, it is because of the sheer number of people that are being recruited into the department.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like we don't get the information, but we are getting it on a delay. So, if it is the
do they choose to share it with you or you find it in some other way? How do you find it? How do you find it?
Sorry, ma'am, I couldn't hear you. Sorry, ma'am, could you please repeat?
Yeah, so the male colleagues share it eventually or you find it out through some other route? How does the information get to you? Find it.
Yeah, finally we'll be able to get the information from one person or the other. But it seems that the discussion has been happening for almost a week or so.
Yeah.
So it is because of the sheer number, because of one people saying to the other person, because of the sheer number itself, they are having that undue advantage.
Yeah.
When it comes to females, and especially for me, among the both Telugu states, I am being the only person who got recruited. So recently, one of the exams that got published in the labor department said, I got to know it after 2 days, after the notification came out. So, but the male people, they already had the advantage previously itself. Not just to me, anywhere, how to proceed, how to change your career in between your employment opportunities, what are other opportunities you have, or what are the educational opportunities you have. These things should be shared more openly.
And we are developing, I think I mentioned in the beginning, we are developing a EHRM system which is going to be integrated with us so that a lot of these announcements you will see on the EHRM platform. So we'll give you more information as that develops. There also you'll be able to find a lot of opportunities and things which are not out and embedded somewhere will be on it. It is going to be a national EHRM. So maybe before the male colleagues get to it, you may be able to get to it. We'll tell you how to do it.
Also, there's a course.
Certificates are already being reflected.
Sorry,
There is a lot of work.
There's a course on modified assured career progression schemes by IST. You can have a look at it.
Yeah.
It has an option that when we are not getting promotion transfer, how can we achieve the career progression? It's by IST.
So that's one course, but we'll try to also.
Yeah, actually it's for ex-cadre posts, MACP is for.
Nidhi wanted to say something, Nidhi?
So this was not related to it. In general, I wanted to say.
Yes, and then please first. But quick, huh? It's one.
No, this was not related to the iGOT.
Yeah, it's your own thing. So if this, are we done with this?
We have, this is the list. Anybody wants to add anything to it?
Now, one thing regarding the implementation part rather. So, kudos that, Karmayogi Bharat team is really doing well and most of the courses are being covered, which is a comprehensive platform. But what I would suggest is implementation part is very important. And as part of capacity building team in UGC, what I have observed is we issue circulars, we tell our employees to do certain courses, but then the sincerity with which they are doing is not there. So how are they doing it? They are just fast forwarding it and doing it just so they have all the certificates. If you ask them, if you take a feedback, so some action needs to be taken in this regard. We need to check the effectiveness. Just
Actually, you're right.
planning
Yeah.
or doing anything is not the end.
Yeah.
So controlling and checking out the effectiveness is very, very important. So probably one or two suggestions from my end is, I have recently seen karma points that you have introduced. So that is good, but again, if some kind of appreciation certificate can be issued from Karmayogi Bharat team for maybe the best performers of the month or something like that, and if they get greater appreciation, apart from that, if you can give some kind of if there can be a meeting or some kind of a session for people who have done courses, and then you can have a discussion like the one that we are having today. So you'll be able to check the effectiveness, whether what courses that they have done, whether they really have that knowledge or it is just for the sake of certificate.
No, there's going to be a serious assessment exercise which is being developed, internal and outside assessment. So, and second of all, our platform has now become intelligent enough to track behavior patterns of course consumption. So if you are doing this kind of a thing, fast forwarding, you are being tracked.
Yeah, but
That is
then
one,
how
but-
as a doer, how will I get
No,
to
no,
know?
I think there are several appreciation, points of appreciation we have already set up. We have a hall of fame. We are thinking of these, and these frequent meetings, of course. A large constituency of consumers who together everybody, but definitely the people who are credibly doing this or consuming that, the test is behavioral changes. The test is how is that person doing?
Continue, please.
Yeah. So the test is ultimately what is the behavior of that learner? What are they bringing to their work on a daily basis, which is demonstrating the learning. That becomes a very important,
There's
point.
a colleague of ours who's done 300 courses from the iGOT platform.
Yeah.
So the thing is, the general observation was whether he is not doing his office work at all, or like how has he been able to do 300 courses from iGOT in such a short span of time? 3 months में इतने सारे courses कर लिए. So he's a senior officer. He's a education officer. So that is also there. Hello, sir.
Hello, Krishna. How are you?
Good, sir. Thank you.
Wish you all a very, very international day for women. So technically, we all say at home, so every day is the Women's Day. And anybody who thinks that only one day is for women, he will land into more trouble than anything else. But it's good that we commemorate this day, and I'm thankful Harleen and Shobna. I'm sure and Shubho have been like coordinating this day. I'm sure the interaction has been useful and relevant. I'm sorry I could not be joined in the morning because there was a PM event, National Creator Awards, and there also women won more awards.
Sir, but I personally like to congratulate you. You've been doing so well. Like you just got an award.
Oh, thank
You
you.
won.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's all because of my team. They'll do the work and I did the work.
Sir also heads the UGC. There's an expert committee on cybersecurity in higher education institutions. Sir,
They're part of they're also, Diksha did all the work and but we didn't go through it. It's a good, very good compendium that has come on cyber hygiene, and they're trying to use it for.
It still has to come out. I speak.
We will publish it, so, but that's a guide for all colleges and universities with regard to what cyber hygiene courses they should be teaching. So I think that can also be adopted by Karmayogi, because what is relevant for students is also relevant for all of us. The cyber security and staying safe online is something that all of us need to do.
So we got some very good suggestions for what is.
So we were in the middle of a discussion about what
Please
more
continue.
courses that our learners feel that we should have on iGOT to attract more women at all levels to the
Do we
platform.
have a course from Department of Post on the Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana? Huh? but have we included it in the Shakti module?
It is already
Yes. It's a very good course because because it's something which is useful for almost everyone who has a girl child below 13 years of age. So that's a scheme that Department of Post had launched, and one can open bank accounts. There are a lot of benefits associated with that. So that should not only government employees should know, but through them we can ensure that the larger community also knows. How many of our team members do not know what Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana is? You don't know? बहुत लोगों को नहीं पता, आपको भी नहीं पता है? No, that's what.
सर सुना है लेकिन कभी इसके बारे में
बहुत
जानने की
अच्छा
कोशिश
पोस्ट है,
नहीं।
डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ पोस्ट का प्लेटफॉर्म पे है एंड
both languages.
हाँ आप बताइए।
रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट उसमें सबसे ज्यादा है 8.2%।
हाँ
और
सिंगल गर्ल चाइल्ड के लिए क्या?
single girl child, all girl child, so you can open a bank account.
21 साल अकाउंट जिस दिन से अकाउंट ओपन होगा उससे 21 साल तक पैसे देंगे।
So you can save for the girls' future education or professional growth at a later age. Because very often क्या होता है कि जब बच्चे 12वीं में कॉलेज जाते हैं, then suddenly expenditure starts. The fees for college, fees for universities, or if they want to start after the startup, इतना लोग करते हैं. If they want to start their own venture or something, so you need a lot of money at a particular age. तो उसकी savings starting से करके रखना, it becomes very easy.
I have bought that for my daughter when she
You
was
got that for your
yeah,
daughter?
when she was 3 years old. We started this.
Very good.
I also.
Very good.
Nice. Right, but mine were more than
Yeah,
15
I
years
also.
old.
So, but all those, the younger ones especially, those who are either yet to have kids, or if you have younger kids, then you can always avail of.
So anything else, any of our own, from our own team, anybody
And
wants to?
Nidhi wanted to say something.
Just 2-3 points that what I have observed so far, like from the initial discussion when all the seniors we were listening. One thing is like from all the points that I've heard so far, that thing that came out of like from my own deduction to entire chat is that inner work is very important. So when we say, and irrespective of the gender, right? Any person who's sitting today on this table has done some sort of inner work. That's why they're able to say, okay, I need to do this or need to do that. So inner work plays a very center, a part in our life. Second is because all the senior leadership is here, I request everyone to make that environment very conducive for the inner work, right? It's just not only me as a woman, if I only do the inner work and my counterparts are not doing the same for them, then it becomes very much, difficult for me also to think that I'm really being equal at the workplace or in my personal life also. Second is, we were also listening some points where it was like female versus female, right? So I would say, I don't know how this narrative even started. Like, it's very bogus in its way also, right? Because majority of the time it's not even women versus women. It's about what sort of person you are, right? So mostly it's personality versus personality. So we definitely need to take a big sort of from the macro perspective that are we saying personality versus personality or women versus women, which is a very bogus perspective in all its sense. And
See, the problem there is that, I mean, you are right, it should be personality versus personality, but there is a conscious or an unconscious or a subconscious bias. So that is where this thing comes, women versus women, women reporting to women. We always talk about it at the workplace. So that is where it is coming from.
So that was that one thing. And also it's like, I think because a lot of women have done a lot of struggle, I say, like for the lack of better word, to reach somewhere, then it becomes very difficult for majority of the people that have seen us to pass on the baton, right? So as a young professional, I see like the senior professional should also be equally secure in passing. Oh, now I've done this, I've done that, now it's your time to shine. So that's one
People say
thing.
that about politicians also. Okay, when will they go so that they are
Right. So these were the 2-3 things because I could see a lot of seniors people attending this entire workshop over there. So for one thing is that I could really understand like all of them understanding and giving their experience have also paved the way for me that how to conduct myself. Then the last thing would be that came to my mind is apart from doing all this, whatever we have discussed it, one bigger responsibility right now with us is also to understand how we can improve our the sense of presence among our male counterparts. So I'll say is like, what sort of narrative we are trying to build with them. One thing is like, अभी तक हम बोल रहे हैं वो हमारे लिए क्या कर सकते हैं. We also need to think what we can do more with them.
right? So one thing that I also practice with my cousins, my younger brother, is also to tell them that how to deal with their emotions as well. So right now we are like every single time the entire perspective is what they can do for us, right? So it's also now it's high time that we can also start saying that what more we need to do for them as well. Their mental health is equally important, and I think the majority of them also are not aware of their own emotions. And then the some sort of
Yeah,
brunt we also
and the
end up
point I
taking.
made about fear, see, male colleagues, because this whole discussion we had on coach, they should not be walking on eggshells and be afraid of us because they perceive we have this ability to, So the mental health in terms of them feeling safe.
Safe also, right? That was very.
So our behavior has to, show that.
I think we can wrap it up with sir's closing remarks and then proceed for lunch.
Yeah.
I can hear the stomach growl.
We have a little memento for
Yeah, of course.
everybody.
And we request everyone for a group photograph with CEO also.
Yeah.
Maybe, just after this thing, before we proceed for lunch.
You all really want me to speak? I thought. So thank you, and in fact, congratulations to everyone for the occasion of the International Women's Day. And as we all know, this day is observed to kind of remind ourselves about the unequal world that we live in. Even though we always vouch, especially in the government, that gender equality is a must and boys and girls are same, but we all know that our social reality and very often reality in even in public offices is not the same. Whether it is providing safe working spaces for women in offices, we do keep on getting lots of complaints in multiple offices, not in Karmayogi, but several offices. That's very, very important to ensure that women are not only given an equal opportunity to work and perform and deliver, but they're also provided safe working spaces without any cases or instances of sexual harassment. Because that is the reality, and because of that, DOPT has made one of the most important courses on POSH a mandatory course. And while we are pushing it, one of the most popular courses on the platform, but we need to actually just course is just one thing. What we practice in actual is more important thing. So we need to not only be sensitized about gender and about what is right and what is not right. We need to be very, very aware of that. And somehow we have used to so many of biases and so many of stereotypes that we have grown up with right from our childhood and somehow reinforced multiple social scenarios. Schools में भी जैसे होता है लड़कियां ये नहीं कर सकती लड़के ये कर सकते हैं. आज Honorable Prime Minister also mentioned in his speech at the National Creator Awards that very often in families, if there is a girl who is coming late from work or late from markets, then parents will say कि लड़की हो तुमको समय से शाम ढलने के पहले घर आ जाना चाहिए. जबकि they would not say the same thing to the son or to the male members of the family. So this is and Prime Minister also mentioned, this needs to be changed and this needs to kind of, our cities and urban areas, rural areas should be so safe that whether you are a male or a female, you should not be scared of going out. That's one part. And second part is that we should think of why it is right for men and why it is not for women. So that becomes very, very important part of the way we approach things. So that's something that Karmayogi is trying to work on. In fact, we do have a fairly balanced work. What is the ratio that we have? Aliki? हमारी टीम में men women का ratio कितना
सर
है?
हम 50% तक तो नहीं पहुंचे but we aim to reach that maybe in the next
But it's
1 year.
fairly
We are
near.
a fairly
Yeah.
as compared to the other you see the statistics in
Huh.
PSUs also.
Like in our team, I think 15 year old, 40-45% women will be there. But I would say even though there are 40% women, but they do 80% of the work. in our team. And while I may say this like this, but I will tell you something very interesting, an anecdote. From way back, I was, it was like more than 20 years back, 2001. I was CDO, Chief Development Officer in a district called Sultanpur in UP. And at that point of time, the 73rd Amendment was just imposed, and UP had the panchayat elections, and we had 33% reservation for panchayat workers and all. So on the first meeting that we had of the block officials, I was just interacting with the women, elected women members, because it was become first time the block pramukhs and all. So I was asking them like, how does this work? Are you like okay with the 30% reservation or not? So one of them said that we should actually have 70% reservation. So I said, okay, but 30% here, 50% should be the ideal, but why 70%? You know what that lady said? She said that we represent the interest of the children also. No, and then it was, and then after that, that thought remained with me, and very often when we look at the village development, because it was imposed in the Gram Panchayats also, it was imposed in the block panchayats also. So very often we look at the village development plans made by panchayats, which where the sarpanch were the women, and or the block development panchayats of pramukhs, which were women. And in the Gram Panchayat plans, I noticed something very interesting, that most of the village development plans which were made by panchayats with women heads of the panchayat, sarpanches, gram pradhan, they were allocating more funds for schools, for sub centers, for health centers, other things. The as compared to the village development plans of gram pradhans who were men, they would be thinking of more of roads, more puliya banani hai, sadak banani hai, building banani hai. So that also showed the approach. So somehow, so when she said that they represent the interest of children, that makes very relevant and very correct, in the sense that they were thinking about education, they're thinking about healthcare, they're thinking about nutrition, Anganwadi center, Asha workers and all. So that's very true. And if you look at like today's most of our plans, most of our programs are implemented in the rural areas. You will see Anganwadi workers are what? Men or women? बच्चे तो दोनों होते हैं, but आंगनवाड़ी workers are all women. आशा workers and ग्राम सेवक, पंचायत सेक्रेटरी, mostly men. Beat constable, men. So these are the way our systems have evolved. So somewhere we need to think over and think of why it is so. Why there are so many stereotypes and roles that we typecast women into? So maybe one, we need to orient ourselves that it can be okay that an Anganwadi worker can be a male also. No, so that would require attitudinal shift. That would require, because Anganwadi में तो दोनों बच्चे होते हैं. Why can't it be there? Similarly, जो ग्राम सेक्रेटरी होती है वो वुमेन भी हो सकती है, और जो पुलिस कांस्टेबल वुमेन भी हो सकती है. आजकल एस्ट्रोनॉट्स लाइक pilots, there are so many pilots who are flying aeroplanes in India has the highest number of women pilots in commercial pilots across the world. There are women Chandrayaan और ये जो सारी इसरो में चले जाइए, most of the scientists, space scientists are women. No, most of the agricultural scientists are women. NIC में चले जाते हैं तो आप लोग NIC में किसको जानते हो? लल्ली जी को जानते हो, हाँ? अनीता वर्मा को जानते थे, या फिर ई ऑफिस चलाती है उनको जानते. So all of them, अलका मिश्रा को जानते जो iGOT चलाती थी, क्यों? So there are a lot of women in tech, women in space, women in defense, women. The Republic Day पे जो परेड हुआ था इसमें most of the contingents were led by women leaders. The aircraft, the MiGs and Rafale are being flown by women. So there is no reason that women should only be seen as Anganwadi and Asha workers and not in other positions of authority or positions of power. We need to change that attitude, change that mindset. How it will happen. We all also start believing that yes, women do deserve a place at the table, their voice needs to be heard. How do we build this into not only thought and speeches but in practice? So it will require attitudinal shift, it will require a mindset shift, and the occasions like International Day of Women are one occasion to think on that. On regard to courses and all that we need to do, these are very interesting subjects and all, and I think we should work with you all to develop these courses. But at the same time, there's something which we discussed in MeitY, and we are conducting a workshop in MeitY on the 11th and the 12th on gender budgeting. Like when we make budgets also of departments, how do we ensure that specific allocations, and we look at budget from a gender lens. Like how will it impact women, and in what ways we can ensure that that taking of projects, funding projects, initiatives factors that in, and we don't ignore that.
We also have a course on gender budgeting, sir, on the platform. Gender sensitivity.
Okay. Gender sensitivity. But gender sensitivity and gender budgeting are two different things.
No, so there are two parts. One is gender sensitive, the second.
Gender and energy. So there will be diverse subjects. So we need to kind of have more such content, and we should also not think that these courses are meant only for women. These courses, the Shakti module, should not be seen as Shakti module is meant for only women. Shakti module is meant for as much for men as much as for women. Men also need to think about what they should be doing.
Sir, is there any idea to increase the number of mandatory courses? Because long time it is.
It's like we do believe that everything mandating doesn't really help. So there are some courses which are mandated, and we will see that if everybody has completed the mandated courses, then more बढ़ा it will be slowly.
That's the notion that some people discussed, whom I discussed in ministry, they told that ज़्यादा course करोगे तो ज़्यादा काम
बट बहुत सारे लोग तो मुझे ये भी बोलते हैं कि उसने तो 700 कोर्स 600 कोर्स कर लिए, उसको काम ही नहीं है, कोर्स ही कर रहा है सिर्फ. So it's a balance. So that's why the solution to that is that the capacity building plan, जो हर डिपार्टमेंट का कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग प्लान बना है, that defines कि किस व्यक्ति को किस समय कौन सा कोर्स करना चाहिए. That defines उसमें आपका जो मैंडेट है कि आपको इस साल 8 कोर्स करने हैं, 10 कोर्स करने हैं, 20 कोर्स करने हैं. You are required to do that many as a mandatory course. उसके अलावा if you have time, if you have interest, if you have desire to do courses, you can always do that. In fact, yesterday I should tell this. My driver was asking me कि सर कर्मयोगी के कोर्सेज मैं भी कर सकता हूँ. तो मैंने बिल्कुल कर सकते हो. So we need to think of, because see there are many people in our ecosystem who have some free time. मतलब he is not driving the car all the time, because वो करेगा तो फिर मतलब मैं भी काम नहीं कर रहा हूँ, घूम रहा हूँ. So such people we can think of courses, and we can think of upgrading skills, and that's how career movement will happen. So anyway, there are a lot of things to talk about Karmayogi, but there are many other occasions to do. Today is like not only a moment to thank you all for the support that the women team members of Karmayogi have given us, but all of you, the top performers, congratulations. आप लोग perform करते हो तो हमें मिलता है, and we are able to say the platform is working. So congratulations to all the top performers. Thank you for all the MDOs for providing all the support, and thank you for all the Karmayogi team members for contributing to making iGOT what it is today. So thank you all, and wish you all again a happy International Day of Women.
So we need to distribute the mementos and have a group photograph.
फटाफट कर लीजिए, जल्दी मुझे आदमी के साथ मीटिंग है. सबका शिवरात्रि के व्रत वाले सब हैं. हम चाय वाली पिला दो. How do we is for everybody? Take out the wicket like this only. Heavy. Plant है. तो टॉप लर्नर में हो ना. Have you told everyone why will you name Vietnam?
No, sir.
हाँ?
वो आपसे
आपको बताना चाहिए ना. She is बताइए.
I was born during the liberation of Vietnam. My father was much impressed by the liberation movement of Vietnam. So he expected me to be very bold like those people. That she is. And he became a great out.
Number one learner on showing the history of Vietnam. We all know what Vietnam did to the great American army. Keep doing this. Thank you. Learning.
Ma'am, आप आ जाइए.
मैं खींच लूंगी, आप जाइए.
Continue the great work at UGC.
Sure, sir. Sir,
she's my colleague in the capacity building cell.
Okay, very good.
So we have Anusha online.
Virtual. Congratulations, Anusha.
We'll send it to.
Thank you, sir.
So the rest of it we'll manage, sir.
आपको देखिए आप लोग हमारी टीम के जो लीडर्स हैं women leaders शोभना का She did such a wonderful speech. I'm really impressed. Sampa, Shobna, congratulations.
English.
Asta, very good. Come. आइए चंदा रितिका आओ रिति रितिका निधि अंशुका सिद्धि
आ गया ये है
I think we have to order.
वो जो स्टाफ हमारा ऊपर नहीं करते
So we can proceed for a group photograph.
And then kindly join us for lunch outside, like after we have the group.
Please guide guests to the terrace. Please come to the terrace.